host, Dason, aka mgthefuture. Hopefully you guys are doing good. If you find this video in the future, make sure you drop a like, comment, and subscribe. We're almost at 1,000. Go us. Sunday, November 9th, 2025. What is that? 1199 991. Oh Lord. 1910 1. Same story. But yeah, I wanted to do a short video. Didn't want to talk about the world because there's nothing going on in the world. We waiting for Trump to get out the way, so that'll be sooner than later. Shout to Brother Composure Slim. We got JPX in the building. And a few others will be here momentarily on X-Men. I probably won't do an entirely too long video, but I figure I just do math. Fuck it. However we can pull this one off. Video not brought to you by Martinelli's. Corona could never. Alrighty. Let's see. Jonathan Lee's in the building. TBFB13's in the building. How are you guys doing? How's this weekend, man? I'm tired. And then I saw the Schumann resonance chart. I was like, I'm in tune with the Earth grid. Who could you imagine being built from the stuff and being entangled with its energy? Can you imagine what physics would say one day? Jonathan says math class. I'm gonna need me a daggone, what's that shit called? One of those thingamajigs. I think I could two-hand it. I don't know, pause. I think I can. It'd be a shame if I was left-handed though. That'd be so much easier. Anyway, we'll go as far as we can before I need to charge it at least. But yeah, we here for math class. We out here. What word was I breaking down? I can break down most words actually. I'm trying to figure out whatever the hell the reason why I know this. I have no idea why I know this actually. It's not something I would know. I didn't study none of this stuff, so to wake up one day and for it to make sense was like, whoa. Then you're like, well, who my ancestors is. Then you're like, whoa. There's a lot more going on inside of us than fucking whether or not you're predisposed to diabetes. I'll tell you that much. Tired, sluggish, yeah. I didn't get no, that's what it is, bro. Thank you for the bonus round. Caffeine, duh. Goofy as hell, crazy as hell. I be forgetting that once upon a time I used to drink coffee every morning. That's why I didn't notice this shit. That's why I haven't noticed this feeling in a long time. But if I remember drinking coffee, I do remember how I feel when I don't drink coffee. Especially in the freaking winter when it's cold and when you got enough sun and energy. Very weird. Very, very, very strange. Strange. I might have to figure out my my coffee life again, part 2. Especially going from like Castet Bustelo and Cafe Moro and stuff, and you just go to nothing. What? Hell nah. Starbucks can never, boy. What are we talking about? Anyway. Yerba mate and green tea, man. I just need me some Cafe Bustelo type stuff. I'll be alright. Shit, we got 20 people and 5 likes for you guys. Man, Santa ain't gonna get y'all nothing. But anyway, vowels. So yeah, those are the vowels. Yeah, we. This is yes twice. Oh, Chris Brown got a song like that. No, it's like yes 3 times, but you know, same story. Easiest way to remember the vowel order is just yes times 2. French yes, English yes, yeah. Vowels. But they have like a sound to them when you say them. And then you just end up with Jew every time. So we know the language itself is encoding Jews. So we know whose language it is. It doesn't even matter how you do that because you have to know what Jews are. And you'll get angels out of them. So same story so far. As long as you understand that angels taught you language and the language says the Jews and they tell you the same story, you just keep spinning in circles like it can't be nothing else. These white folks got to give it up, boy. I put that on Ezekiel. Most people don't know these damn sigils, but for some reason we're born with them. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why I know these things, but we do. I never met Solomon a day in my life, I don't think. You're familiar with this one. Everyone, for whatever fucking reason. If you're in America, you be drawing this shit. But you forget something. What is it actually showing you? What are you connecting here? 4, 8, 12. 12 nodes, 12 tribes. Don't you know it? That is the Kabbalah, by the way. Don't you forget it. Don't you forget it now. Don't you forget it. It definitely is. That's exactly what that is. That's the tree of life. That's the Kabbalah. Just connected that way. Yeah. Weird fucking story. You could do it. You can, and you would get that from these. These are intricate. I'm pretty sure they're all the same story. Down to the pixel. Shout out to brother Harut. Bustelo bricks. Speaking of Starbucks, just drove by a closed Starbucks on the highway. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. Ascending E's in the building, Mr. Now. Kaba Allah. Yep. Cab. Like the Ka. The soul. Right, so it's the soul of God. Don't sound like it's the soul of God. So I don't know. You could put it in there. You get moon if you want to. If you want to make this feminine as it ought to be. So you have a moon goddess and a sun god. Ooh, I wonder what that is. That's the whole problem. No one does. No one. They don't tell you the genders of God because it changes the story. Change the story if you knew there was a difference. I think the last thing they said Jesus said on the cross, he said, lie, lie. I could have sworn he said that. A lie, lie, man. Come on, it's right there. I don't know. It's an anagram, too, if you think about it. You know what these are. And you got, you know what I'm saying? You got the whole thing panned out. It's an easy story here. It's I3. It's 5, I guess. You add it up. But however they do it. You just say this is 37 if you want to. You get 11 real quick, or 10. You get 15 if you want to. You're always going to do it. Although that's technically 4, but it's 1, 5, so it's, you know, same story. Same story. It's all going through the interchanges between letters and numbers. You know how we used to do. You're like, A is 1, B is 2. Gotta find that real order though. That's not the original. Can't be. Japanese have a different version of it too, but their Japanese and English letters are same story. It's based on this. You got 12. You got 12 disciplines. 12 hours. Oh shit. Might be familiar with this if you know that we're Moorish Latin all through South America, or I don't know, the whole human history here. Horus, here you get Horus. Then you get his son Heru again. You get the son of the sun, I guess, right? Hours and minutes. So if you do minutes, you get Met. You'll get Muhammad. You go Allah to Muhammad. So Allah in this trifecta, is you need a woman. Well, we know Horus and Heru, who Allah be, as a placeholder for a moon. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. You already figured it out. But notice that name doesn't exist. Because it's Foley, right? It's the same thing twice. It's Isis. It's 1515. It's 1414. It's IV. Final Fantasy. The Black Mage. Vivi. Pretty sure of it. Moon. A lot of moon magic on that one. But you can keep going Spain. You can get CC, you get Sid. You get a whole bunch of different things if you just keep going. You get 444. All right, angel numbers. You get 66. All right, double. Whatever that is. Is that 3131? Yeah, it could be 1313. Mirror principle. So what I'm saying is this language itself is always going to tell you who created it. The moral of the story is you'll always find the root of the language because all the words that they're using for gods and angels will always bust down to gods and angels no matter what. That's just how they did it. I don't know how they did it. They use algebra and some other shit. I don't know that one all the way, but I'm gonna get there one day if I live long enough. Lord have mercy. But it's enough. It's enough to know. It's enough. It's enough. And then from Met and Mohammed, you get the Ba. It's a transformation of that. Muhammad and Baphomet's the same thing. Because it's Met, no matter what. This Ba part might be Bael's version of it. But Bael starts to look like Allah if you really start doing the science. Looks like they like like Bala. Like the Ka of Bala. The soul of Baal. Okay. All right now. All right now. All right now, all right now, all right now, the soul of Kabbalah, the soul of Allah. Well, let me do the science on that. The soul of Allah, all right, the soul of Isis would be Muhammad, Michael. I know that's right. Listen, we don't miss out here, boy. We put that on 2, 3 real quick, boy. You already know the science on that shit. It's gonna get you 5 all over again. IV. That's how you already know. That's how you are. That's how you know it. I'll put the X in front of it if you need to. I'll do it. Don't worry. I'll do it. He's gonna be big. He's gonna be big no matter what. But they're talking about the stars and shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Man. What is it? Arm, head, arm, leg. You feel me? They demonized something when they rewrote the book. That ain't our book that we wrote. It's a translation of our book. We don't have our book, trust me. It'd make way more sense if we wrote it. That's a reference to one of our books, I'm almost certain. But that's cool. It's a cool fucking story because the beauty of the science of the language is going to tell you what the hell they were trying to do with the bullshit. Fucking up the math, and once you get the math right, man, you start to figure this shit out really fucking cool. Really fast. It's fast. It's fast. It's always a trinity, man. You have the sun, the moon, and the earth or the ground, so to speak. So it's just, you're standing here actually, and you look above, you see this happening, you see it happening right from where you stand at. And they're in their own little circuit together on an infinity loop. You are their infinity loop, though. You're 2 sides of your mother and your father into a new circuit. That makes sense. So if one was a sun god and one was a moon god and they had a kid, he would be the god of everything. That's just how that works. That's how you do multiplication, at least. That's why the name shows up all the time. It's either going to be the feminine version show up, Allah is going to show up, or the masculine version is going to show up. No matter what. No matter what. But it's very interesting that their vowels are different. So the older one is OU, and the younger one is EU. So from an O to an E. It's interesting because we know the E is angelic. That's how we know this new England. So we know the E vowel means angels. The O vowel might be AO, which I think is Alpha and Omega. So he's Omega then. And then that's Alpha. I'm pretty sure, man. I'm pretty sure it's A and B, man, or A and Z. I'm pretty sure I'm the Alpha and the Omega. I'm the sun and the moon. I know that's right. That makes sense. If you're the son of God, you're the sun in the moon. So you would be the Alpha and the Omega because you'd be half of half. I know how the science works. I know how to divide now. I know how this works. I know what they're. So once you understand what they're saying, they're not saying nothing deep or profound. They're giving you math. Like, of course, I'm the sun and the moon. I am the product thereof. But even those are reference points. It has nothing to do with the planetary bodies in the sky, since they created the planetary bodies in the sky. But they're symbolic of that because it'd be symbolic of what created it. Thus, what's first, the people or the language? Hello. There we go. All right. Yeah, we out here, man. So weird. I don't know what that's about. You said CC was 3333. I do that too. Shit. I'm gonna get the same story, Masons. It's gonna cancel out either way. 3, 6, 9, 12, 3. It always add up to 3. E. Angels. Shout out to him. Shout out to Mr. Now for taking that shit seriously. Some people don't take this serious. But then you'll see other words that have nothing to do with the Bible and you'll be like, same fucking story. Our language has a gender to it, so it's following universal law. So as long as you know it's something's following universal law and you know what the foundations of universal laws are, you can quantize the chatter and the filler of colonial understanding of it. I ain't got time for that shit. I give a fuck what they understand. Why the fuck are they here? So, yeah. Kind of have to take our own initiative and accord on it. Weird shit happens though. Once you start doing this, like, because I think it's rewiring the neurons in your brain over time. It's been, what, 10 months now? This shit's delicious. It's like apple cider, apple juice. It kicks like apple cider, but it tastes like apple juice. Thank God. Damn. I don't know where I was going with that shit, but I was going somewhere. The 6-pointed star V. Hey. The alleged Star of David. Which is, again, 2 trifectas coming together, male and female. Yin yang yang. All over again. 2 temples becoming 1. Put a circle around it. You have a star being born in the womb. All over again. Almost like an eclipse. Then when you see the crescent moon in the star, it's telling you the same thing. It's like Venus, if you will, is giving birth to a new star. But you see how, like, the moon becomes Venus, womb, and the star, planet Venus, becomes the new thing. It switches roles, but it's the same symbol as above, so below. Because Venus can only give birth to Venuses. Yes, and that's why he's copper colored. Yup, that's what that's about. Venus is green / copper. Like a penny reverses, or Statue of Liberty rests brown, or a penny rests green. And as within, so without. 2 polarities. That's why you have green dollars, brown pennies, silver, nickels and coins and stuff. Because it's mapping Venus, the moon, and all that. Money, moony, gold, the sun, silver, the moon. Quite literally. Quite literally. And if the language, the money, and the math is doing that, it tells you whose culture that is. And that's the only thing I care about. Where does these ideas come from? And it tells you. And that's the craziest thing about it. You don't need to dig nothing up. You ain't got to go across the world to find more of it. It'll always be fundamentally at the root issue on an IT level. It has to be these people. It's all of their references. And there's no reason why anyone who's not with these people to make the same exact references. You have the freedom to create whatever you want. But I've known through my experience of 40 years who tends to usurp things and repurpose them and redefine the words of things that other people use. Thus. So I'm not concerned with all the flutter after they started using a colonial mind state to make themselves more of, you know, them getting an education in books and attributing it to their mind and their self brings them esteem and some type of clout or awareness. Whereas for us, it's kind of like, that's lame as fuck. That ain't what we do with that information anyway. We don't use that information to become more of something. This information is always describing something. It's like, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to take something that's horizontal and make it vertical. It doesn't make sense to me, at least. And it doesn't have to, you know what I'm saying? I have no use for that mentality. But that's the way they taught us. Like, they taught us, like, oh, the more you know, the better off you are. It's like, learning more of the wrong thing doesn't do anything, actually. All I need to know is the fundamentals. Oh, you colonized me, and this is our shit. Fuck you. Like, let's start there and then repair what I need to learn, right? That's just me though. That's just me though. That's just me though. So, unique perspective. And then to grow up and uncover everything else that's connected to that, and it's the same thing again. I'm like, okay, well, shit. Maybe I will learn something in this lifetime. Shit, I might be on my way, man. It only took 40 years for that, you know. Some shit they could have taught us in kindergarten, man. Can you imagine if they taught you all the overlap all at once, and you just remembered all the formulas, and you know a whole bunch of subjects at once? That's why that system is like that. That's why they follow a system. So your neurons can connect all the theories and you think faster. You can reference one symbol, and just like the Matrix, all those bookshelves or those weapon caches showed up. It's the same thing. Why you strategically create your learning modules based on those neurons that connect everything. When you break that up and start changing values and moving the zeros around so you could be a rich little Jewish guy, then you fuck something up. Always do it. Greed will always do it. Greed and jealousy. The green monsters. That's why you take all this out the emotional place, put it back into math and science, and then stand there. Most people won't climb that ladder with you. Then there are no arguments. It's all what they think and feel and believe, and that's quite useless in math and science. They're breaking a universal law. Thus, why they say it seems lonelier. It's not lonelier. That's not what that is. This is not a social exercise. It's that no one cares. If you care, it'll be lonely and caring. But it's not lonely because you care. Everyone don't need to care. They'll get this right. It's not going to change their life. Everyone doesn't have the same life. So we cannot subscribe to everyone live the life and see the life the same. But I think democracy attempted to do that. That's why they never work. They don't take inventory for what's inside of people. This society only takes inventory of what people provide to someone else at cost, at benefit, at profit. The higher you go up, the more you get out of it. And the less you do to contribute back. Energy-wise. That's bad math. It always corrupts. Because the water always runs out. The well always dries up. And their method of thinking and doing things is just that. Throw a pitcher in there, bring the water out. Throw a pitcher in there, bring the water out. And then they cover it up so they don't get wet when it rains. And then the water doesn't go back in. Very weird. Very strange people who took over. We gotta go. What do they know about Jew math? That's hilarious. Rule 3. Always scaling wrong stuff, usury. The name of the ones that brought in every word so they can officially eat a bag of rocks on Lucifer. They don't like when you prove God math. For them, it's always been feeling. When they feel good, God may be involved. When politics and make a mess, then there's no God because it's science. Peace to alert. Subjugated thought can't science divinity. I think they retarded, bro. I'll be honest with you. They something. I can't imagine having all those people, all those resources, and all that money, and then go, I don't want to figure nothing out. I don't want to figure it out no more. It's plenty. I understand plenty. I'm gonna die soon, but you know, I got everything I can get out of this. I'm just gonna sit here. Nah. Nah. That is crazy. Subjugated thought. Subjugation. Subjects. To my royal subjects. I doubt we were like that since that's their imagination. I can't imagine nothing like that, actually. I watched The Tudors, which is about my family. We ain't nothing like that. The fuck they talking about? The Stuarts and all that? Nah, that's not. That's not how no one I know genetically from them acts. We do act some other ways, though. Make a way more interesting TV show. It's all cosplay. And that's the most amazing thing about life. Most of it's fake. When it comes to human shit, what humans say and do, a lot of it's, you know how humans are. They make up shit. I think I saw, what was that? I posted my story. I knew about this already, but it came up again. That China is lying about how many people it has. I find that to be very interesting. Why would you lie about how many people you have? In the midst of a population collapse. When you have a population collapse, let's write it down. Because China has a population collapse if they're lying about numbers. That means we have a worldwide population collapse. That's gonna suck. That's gonna suck big time. So what's the numbers? They say goddamn China got a lot of people. I don't know if you understand the gravity of that. Of 1.5 billion people, give or take. And they say we got like 350 million. It's a variable missing here. You feel me? Like, we got a whole set of people missing compared to China. And that number is still higher than ours. But we're going through a population collapse, where they say half of the reproduction age people ain't going to reproduce. So that really leaves us down to 175 million coming soon. I don't know how long that is, but it'll even out there. It'll balance itself out between those numbers with immigration. They're just choosing what class of immigrants they want. Seems like they're kicking out Indians. They have a very similar problem, but the lady doing the math, and she's a Chinese person doing math, she said they only have 500 million people or less. They have more to 3 to 500 million. That's crazy if they're capping about this. Especially when you think about budgets and food and what they buy and what they need, industry-wise. Well, if they're lying about that number or its ability to provide for that many people, but it's really operating at that number, then it makes their finances look suspicious. Same with them. I doubt the number's that high for us. We know it ain't that high for them. So we know they lie the most. So we know this number is much smaller. We might be closer to 200 and something million people. And most of them are immigrants currently. I've noticed outside. Anyway, so if they have a half, because they have a leftover women problem too. So they're looking at being down towards the 250 million soon. They outnumber us by a little bit. The way they're both going. They're both going to a collapse. That's bad math. Back to Terrence Howard's A Flower of Life problem. He said 1 times 1 cannot equal 1. Correct. Correct. It's a mirror property, and they call this the mirror property, but that's something they made up. That's not how nature works. But they teach you 1 times 1 is 1, so it keeps their bad math consistent. But the reason why, like in real life, is because multiplication is for farming. That's where it comes from, right? It comes from farming, agriculture, which turns into economy. If you're trading and bartering with substitutes, money, value. So it's a value system. So if you're a farmer and you're like, hey, I want to plant a bunch of cotton or tobacco, and you're looking at your field and you're like, I only have whatever. So I want to make a plot in the dirt, rows and columns. You're familiar? Well, if you're a farmer and you're looking at how much you're multiplying your plants, you just look at the rows and columns. Be like, well, there's 2 across, 2 down, that's 4. So you're multiplying like that. Well, you might just, fill it up until you run out of space. You might just be walking up and down your rows and columns till you run out. And then when you're done, you go, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that way, 3 that way. So I know if I multiply, well, how much yield should I have? I should have 21. So that's why you would want to multiply, so you can work faster. You don't have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can just plant, even, until you run out. And then when you're done, you can count it up. 1 times 1 is... How do you multiply that? You don't. So doing 1 times 1 is useless. There's no use for that. There's no reason why to even beckon that. Because if you're planning one thing, you're planning one thing. So the mirror principle comes up for other types of math and integers and stuff. But in planting, it's just, you wouldn't beckon. You wouldn't beckon that. But what ends up happening when you become independent probably doesn't exist. That's weird that 5 is in there. Dependent, independent, is that when you multiply all effort times yourself, you end up with half the energy, right? So 1 times 1 is kind of like division. So if you take something and you divide it by itself, you end up with half of what it is. So it wouldn't work. The only way you can add up something to 1 again is if you split it up. If you split that up, or you break that seed in half, or whatever you're doing, or the yield itself, you can cut it in half and put it back together and get 1. But you're never breaking down the core. So saying that is kind of like saying, oh, you're working against yourself. That's all. It's more philosophical than it is, you can't do it because we made a rule for it. No, you wouldn't even use that for what the math was created to use the rule for. We created math for agriculture. But really, because Jesus is telling this story in a book that has genes in it, right? The genes of vices. That's the same way you do with genetics. So you couldn't do a 1 times 1. If you take 1 times 1 genetically, you get incest. What happens when you get incest? You end up halving the genes. You end up causing problems in retardation, Habsburg jaws, and it ends up defecting, so it doesn't ever become greater than its original self. It half-lives. So that's why they're like, oh, if you only got 1 drop of Negro blood, you feel me? That's the 1900s, by the way. Don't sleep. This ain't nothing to do with slavery. They were just weird like that for no reason. They didn't want you to have a 16th of Negro blood for some reason. I don't know what that was. That was weird. But yeah, that's what's going on in life, and genes and genetics. You don't do the incest thing, man. You end up defecting, aka going backwards. Hence, going backwards from one. That's all they're trying to explain. That's what Terrence Howard noticed. There's no such thing. At the very least, it should be two, if you're looking at two objects. But if you make it a principle or law or theoretical, then you can understand it reading it. Of course we understand this because we were taught the rules for calculators. These ain't calculators. You can go outside and do this. You start digging holes one by one in one single column or row, and you follow right behind yourself. And when you're done or you run out, you stand out, look at it across, down, boom, you get the total value, just like that. Just like it is that quick. You ain't gotta go 1, 2, 3, 5. I think that was 6. No. Whoop whoop. There. That's why we created that. We didn't create this to do stupid shit. We didn't create all this agriculture and Bible for us to start being independent and dividing. When the first thing in the Bible, it says the Elohim created them in their image. Ooh. Imagination, but we'll deal with that later. Since people create nations, so create them in our image. This word, by the way, is plural. So it's more than one creating this story. I'm pretty sure it was like, I think Noah's Ark was at least 3 to 5 or 3 to 7 or 7 in all, something like that. Same story, because they're talking about genetics again. Of course, there's got to be more than one. Of course, if you're going to start a whole new nation all over again, you don't need more than one. When they start this nation over there, they said Isis, Ra, and El's nations start with 12 different tribes of man. Oh, there's the difference. That one hybrid. That's cool. You end up getting 13. Shit. Now this multiplies against all of its variations. So I get something totally different. What is that number? Y'all know? I don't fucking know. Hold on, I can figure it out in a second though. And that's 144. So everyone's like, oh, 144,000 is gonna come and God's gonna say, oh, no. We're talking about Israel, bro. Relax real quick. Relax real quick. This, because the whole book is about this. So if you're starting with 12 tribes of people, and you want them to hybridize, that's that chemical X that they added to the potion when they did that shit right there. Was that 100 plus 9 or some shit? Hold on, I know that number. Hold on. Why am I drawing a blank on this goofy shit? No, it's 3 times 13, so it's 130 plus 39, right? Was that 149? Hold on, no. Right? I think so. Shit. It's 130 plus goddamn. Yeah, it's 39. Yeah, I thought so. All right. And then you get 169, real fine, get low. And we end up getting that pattern again. What is that? That'll foley out, it'll be 1 again. Oh shit, maybe that's why they did that too. You mix it all up and you get the original. You get Adam again. That makes sense. You end up getting Adam again. And it's really 16-7, right? But still, fully out. Yeah, that's weird. That's a weird one. That's out of 1611 though. We know it's 1611 because they came over here with 13 colonies. It was 12 when they started in the book. It was 13 as of 1611. That is the difference right there, boy. We got a bigger number going on here, buddy. But that's cool. But no matter what they're talking about, all this imaging a nation of people is all genetics. So the alphabet and the numbers are your genes, quite literally. And the way that this is the prerequisite for algebra. But it's really not algebra at all, is it? It's Gabriel. Matrix math is what they call it. Matrix math is what you have to use to do anything graphical on your computer screen. Ain't that crazy? Matrix math and C++ and Pascal is how you get things on your screen. Like, what are them shit's called? Sprites. You draw a matrix. If you ever had an NFO file, that's what it is. It's matrix math. Algebra. It's matrix math because it's multiplication. The mother didn't get herself pregnant, so she didn't divide herself to create Jesus. She was impregnated by God. El, Son, Soul. So if you didn't put nothing in the matrix, then nothing comes out. So something went into her matrix to get something out. Hence, it couldn't be 1 times 1. But you know it's a holy trinity no matter what. That's not the same thing. If you have one mom and one dad and you get one kid, those are 3 different people. So 1 times 1 can't be 1. No matter what, no matter how you interpret it. If you take a man and a woman, so well, you adding them together. You don't get it. No. You're multiplying. You're using our matrix. That's what womb means, by the way. If you look it up. The womb of a word is the parentheses. It's a noun. That's the womb of a word. The parentheses. 2 crescent moons. What's inside? Same story. It's always the same story because it's the math and the language and what we're speaking is the story. That's the beautiful thing about this shit once you start figuring it out. It's like, oh, the genes of Isis. Who is she? We'll figure it out one day, but who's Gabrielle? That's a weird story. The God is in the name, angels in the name, and the sun, Ray. This is sun math. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's sun math. But that's a girl. Ra. Ray. They try to go from Mercury, which is what she is. Venus is a female Mercury, if you do the science. They try to make it Martian. See what they did. They're very clever people. But we're in Europa, hence. Earth is Mars. We're in Europa, so we're under Mercury. We're under El Gabriel. I don't know what they got going on Mars. But we ain't on Mars, so it is, tomato, I guess, all under Zeus, you would think. But they have a Martian reference point on top of that for almost everything they do lately. We're going to go to Mars one day. Why don't you go to Mercury? They looking for exoplanets. They're on one. This is an exoplanet. All intents, it's colonized, it's terraformed, it has a dome. We're pretty advanced, bro. Pretty advanced, man. Psalms 19:1. We're pretty advanced, bro. It's all in the Egyptian stuff. Everything in the Old Testament is what the drawings of a lot of that Egyptian stuff is, which is the funniest thing about life, that they subjugated the two as they're 2 different things, knowing that the Jews left Egypt. The fuck is going on? The Jews came out of Egypt, right? Israel came out of Egypt, right? So why are they separating these 2 things? If they survived Egypt, they're the survivors of Egypt. They're the remnant of Egyptians. The fuck is going on? The Egyptians that kept going. Now they have a new name because they're no longer just the Egyptians. They're not in that time frame for themselves. You don't call yourself a Confederate when you live in goddamn Tennessee, do you? Call yourself a Union soldier when you join the Army from Pennsylvania? Probably fucking not, right? But you could be right there where Union Army soldiers are buried. Same story. You'd be right there. You'd be right here. You have a Union Army burial ground in New Jerusalem in Old Amexem. You could do the same thing. You could call it Texas. You can call it Mexico. But we know that's New Spain. The Moors were here already. We know it's an annexation of Texas, 1868. All that was Spain. What are they talking about? So the white Spanish people got really good and along with the black Indian people? Where them kids at? Where them girls at? If that story was based on a true story, that it was white people in Spain, then all these girls look like they're from Guyana. Don't cut it out. No, they don't. No, they don't. They all look like Alicia Keys. They all look like, come on now. No, they don't. Nah. There's something going on there. Some Siberian, some African, and some other shit going on too. They be leaving out all the Asians that come here. They gotta cut it the fuck out. But yeah. At the end of the day, they all use whose language? A Moorish language. That's weird. They never met Moors before, but they're speaking their language. That's a weirder fucking story. There's no Moors here, but we're speaking Moorish Latin. Oh, silly me. Silly me. White people credit Moorish Latin. What? What? Stop it. Cut it out, Bob. Cut it out. That shit's hilarious to me. You can't even get them to iron out that wrinkle either. They just move on like, it doesn't matter anyway. You're entitled to your beliefs. No, I'm not. I'm not entitled. That's just the damn truth. Your shit don't make sense. Who said anything about what the fuck I believe? They even confuse the gender of what we be talking about. I ain't talking about no damn beliefs. Unless you want to say that laws are beliefs. I gotta ask a question, why is there so many Moorish laws in America? They don't teach nothing about Moors in America, but there's so many laws referring to Moors. Even Abraham Lincoln, right? So these are really fucked up individuals. These are very evil people. And just those two facts alone, man, it's like, it doesn't matter how educated or smart a system is. At itself isn't smart to begin with. If it doesn't know where the fuck its language and math comes from. What are you teaching? Why are you teaching something third party that you don't know the root of? You can't teach it, in fact. So it's all just memory science, right? How much of the bullshit they put together you can memorize based on the curriculum. Yeah, that's why no one doesn't know anything. It wasn't taught for you to know. It was taught for you to remember. Thus, pretty fucking useless. Part 5. Farming is not theoretical, Brett. I'm running it back. No neuron bridges, just each note of the piano by itself. We wouldn't even announce ourselves like that to anybody. If the coin said mind your business, it's clear that no one will go out their way to tell somebody about it, because there would be no one else. The Tudors was wild, yo. Germany, France, England, all related through marriage. Yes, and they're all Moors. And we all came to America, and I'm their grandson. You're looking right at them. That's our story. They're Khans, though. They're not white people, which means when you say they're not white, that does not make them African. Neither. They're Khans. There's a story of the bloodline of Jews. Alamy. What we used to call it, not what they call it. They call it whatever the fuck they want. They're hypothecating and doing government and business with humans. That is not what a kingdom is. It wouldn't be about humans. That's the one thing that fucks everybody up in this story. Those kings and those emperors do not believe they're human. And nobody, not even the Bible. The Bible doesn't suggest that we're humans. There's man, mankind, other, and God. That's 4 different classes. There's multiple gods, multiple others. You got man and mankind. What's the difference between those two? Well, what's kind of a man? Monkeys, hominids, apes. So you have the creation of a vessel, and then you have the manipulation of that vessel, mankind. And that's where they go, Yaqub, Jacob, Israel. Yaqub is Israel, genius, right? When they say Yaqub, the big head scientist, Muhammad. Well, Yaqub is Jacob. Jacob is Israel. So they can't get around Israel. Not even Malachi Zior in King James English. So like, you say Israel created the spotted sheep or the hybrid tribes and mixes of people. That's no different than any nation today, because ain't nobody damn indigenous on this damn plane. Not for real. Not back to Egypt, they're not. They've been mixed since. The only time you can get to a homogenous mix again is if you do a whole bunch of incest. And that's against our rules. So it's like, it ain't worth it. And it wouldn't be worth to be xenophobic or create a social condition which would cause you to do that. So when they say Germany, France, and England, those are all the new names. What empire was it? They had a Bible by Hebrews about Jews and Israelites. So why would a third party white person, not from Egypt, have a kingdom in France, Germany, or England and be referring to Hebrews? Why would they be going to a Hebrew God? Why would they be holding people accountable for following the Bible when the Bible's about Jews? So, I'll save you an extra trip. None of the kingdoms are. None of the kingdoms can be anything but Jews. That's their concept. In a world where everyone had tents and nomads and stuff and caves and mountains. That's not our backstory. That's not in the Bible. We spend a day in a cave, a day in a desert. We don't start there. We start in a garden in a different dimension, then come here and walk around in bondage, deserts, Egypts, and then we create kingdoms here. That's in the first chapter of a very old book, by the way. And however old that book really is, the reference point, they weren't fucking there. So if they weren't fucking there when we invoke kingdoms, then those kingdoms can never be fucking theirs. One more time. That book refers to kingdoms thousands of years ago. Those kingdoms were built by us. Any kingdom from that date forward would be ours. There's no one else here during that time to have their own version of the same thing. And then we all fast forward thousands of years to this point, and we're still all using the same kingdom language. So that kingdom has never been replaced by a better kingdom or way of doing things. It's been corroding. So their narratives about the Tudors and how they see it and how the Jewish guy scripts it, because they're reading third party. They're reading sources that are voiced in third party. They're not reading imperial, majestic source material. They're reading the impressions of something else that wasn't even fucking there. They were like 500 years ago. It's never in present tense either. None of their sources are in present tense. So if you weren't there in the presence of any of those people, that civilizations, and you know your civilization benefits from stealing and taking and stealing all that shit, then I can't trust none of your stories about it. That's for us though. If I was third party and partial to it, it'll just be like going to a museum about someone else's stuff. Like, oh, that categorize that there and categorize that there, and religions and wars and politicians, like most people. Nah, I'm them people they talking about. Nah, tell them to go fuck themselves. That is not what happened. Impossible. They would not know our language if they replaced us. But they couldn't replace us because we're not the same species. And they know that, hence why they can't mix in. And that's what Benjamin Franklin said in 1752, Issues of Mankind. He told you genetically they would not be a match. His last paragraph. Why would we bring these people here if they can no more Germanize us than we can Anglicize them? That's bad for a plantation of people. So that's what, 250 years ago now? What's happening to them? Bunch of half-life genetics problems, a lot of organ failures, a lot of brain problems, a lot of heart problems, a lot of blood problems. For doing math wrong. Fundamentally. They got scientists, chemists, punch squares, everything, and they still did math wrong. Socially, spiritually, in their head, in their mind, in their way of doing things to get benefits. They still fucked up math. So if they fucked up math on survival of their species, then I don't think those are the type of people that need to be telling anyone what to do for such a short time to exist here. It's weird. Gillard says China wants to appear stronger. 400 million or so in actual for China. Yeah, that's what the lady said. Less than 500 million. And all the fake accounts and fake IDs and all the fake problems you hear about. Amy Ross says China also has a housing market problem. Yeah, they always do. Pundit squares for genetics. Same things. Get better. Yeah, you're right, brother. TBFV 13. Farming is not theoretical, Brett. 169, 115 all over again. Hence, the text for blind, aka Libra, is called Braille. Got like Gabriel. Yep. Mercury is too far for them to explore, even in their imaginations. That's silly. Yep, a militant, just following orders, marching versus questioning. Better spelled, conserving. A Masonic curriculum at that, it would seem. Very Jewish behind it. Yo, YouTube, stop correcting me. Oh, that makes sense. Mun ki. Ki as in moon, kind of mon kind. Reading the test tube orphan dream extract and interpretation. Yeah, they love a good theory, but physical proof of retardation is not peer reviewed enough for them. Yeah, also sassy. That's hilarious. But yeah, they keep doing this wrong. It's really pissing me off. Let me see. I don't know why they invoked all this in teaching us, because we learned this shit in school for no reason, it seems. It's not like we used it for anything. They just taught us to replace my fucking history instead, right? All they taught us how to replace my history, so it's fucking weird. Fuck these people. Easy. They're not the same. It's not the same category. So the Bible is written from here. It's talking about kings of kings. So it's a man times Elohim mixes, obviously. So it's a book dedicated to an emperor, someone way over here, in between the two. The purpose of doing so, by the way, after Enoch. Balancing those genetics or balancing whatever that first initial experiment was to what we are now. We crossbred. Those crossbreeds will become emperors because the planet that the emperor is on was built by the Elohim. So it's not a democracy. So with mankind and the other tribes that are not implied or show up later in time, they have their own trajectory, however they become whoever they are. But as of this point today, they're known for trading materials and humans. But they're always trying to build something, a bigger military, bigger states. They're really not really big on a genetic thing per se, except for in secret, right? White supremacists and other groups that are different backgrounds that kind of have the same type of rules. Those can mix sometimes, depending on the blood types. But your blood type dictates how long you live, which tells you a lot about your design. These are designs, whether it's by a god or a man, because man can design man now, hence mankind. It's kind of man. But a lot of those is a result of man interfering with things and doing science, like cloning. Whereas this is the result of them doing the science. So it's their math and science, their understanding of the math and science, and then them trying to reverse engineer it. And this is pretty much where we are now, like in our minds. We're thinking as mankind. I'm not mankind. First of all, on Israel, I'm not. So these kingdoms trade genetics, hence the marriages in between kingdoms or in between tribes and nations. You have a lot of them, like Ram. But every once in a while, one of these guys under the covenant with angels, that's what those are, by the way. They have a covenant with one of those. And then that becomes something different. And they have all the technology, Ark of the Covenant, and, Noah's Ark ship, one of their ancestors, They have the tech all the way from before the flood, because Abraham is after the flood, right? So whatever Noah was able to preserve and Shem was able to preserve, then it would show up again. And it shows up again, because he becomes the emperor of all the tribes, right? Jacob, Israel. Would have to be. He's day one. Tribe of Judah, all that's straight through. And then further in the future, Jenga shows up to Mujin. He shows up with light inside. Whereas these guys, they'll still be related, crossed, but that doesn't mean that's what's inside of them. Furthermore, where we're dealing with our government today on this side of the polarity, trying to interpret these things, everyone gets confused because they're looking through the perspective of that and not the perspective as a Jew. Jews, all the books are looking this way. You're be in this world, but you're not of it. You're in this world, but you're not of this world. You're of this world. This is something else going on here. They're trying to create a tower, a temple, a church, a building. Hence the materials. They think like they wait for white Jewish people to rebuild a temple or something. No. Temple in ours is man. We're creating a man. We're always waiting for that guy or girl or both. Law of gender. It should be more than one, but it should be way more than one. It should be way more than one if you know how to multiply through time. But we'll settle for one of these. That's all that book is about, though. That book is about this relationship. That book is not about this relationship or this one. That is the conquistadoring and the whitewashing and iconoclasm and the wars and the colonization and all that stuff. There's a bunch of different blood types going back and forth with each other. But they're not compatible for the most part. We know that till this day. Not all mixed into a new thing. We have not did the Holy Trinity with the invader after 400 years, allegedly. Fuck out my face. No other time in history has that ever fucking happened. On no Romans, on no Greeks. Cut it the fuck out. So it hasn't been 400 years, but even in the time we can observe, at least 150, that still hasn't taken place. There is no new mix or new tribe of Israel on this side of this descendancy. Nothing mixed from over here lately created a new tribe for us. AKA, these type of people don't demonstrate having this type of consciousness genetically. Thus, they're not accessing these other planes of existence. That's why you need algebra, so you can deter things from a higher dimension. Not what's in front of you, just like the plants are under the ground. You can imagine if. So it's the same story over here. This is very ground level. And there's nothing wrong with this row, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with that is the people at the top of this, for some fucking reason, think they're this. Sorry, Jewish guy, you're none of these fucking people. I doubt you're even mixed in well enough with us. Because if your blood types are wrong, we're the real deal. So we have a real fucking blood type. You ain't got our blood type. So you're not really kind of any of us if you don't have our blood type. First of all, first the fucking off. You don't have our blood type to be from our blood types. So if you don't have the blood type from our blood types, then it don't fucking matter what you call yourself, nigga. Mankind, Jewish guy. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Embrace that shit. Just get you a new name. That Jew don't mean, what does the fuck, why do you even invoke that? You over here somewhere? You over here somewhere. You got these genetics. Somewhere in the ish part where you got, what do they call that shit? Junk DNA from one of us? Maybe. I wouldn't doubt it. I know some fellas, Jay Electronica was messing with one of them girls. But at no time do you mixing with one of us put your ass in control of this. That's what they get. Even if they could make the type that, all right, we were mixed with one of these tribes, something happened. Oh, the lost tribes of Dan and the Scythians. You're not black. Stop the fucking out of here. They came to America, bro. Anyway, so you could pick one of these tribes. Which one stay behind? Which one gave you eggs that your blood can get pregnant naturally? Go ahead and tell me. Your girls ain't got no ass, and where the fuck you get that nose from, right? I'm just saying that because that speaks to your blood type. So you didn't get these dominant genes and dominant noses from our noses. We have wider noses. We don't have the long hook noses. That's something totally different. So we know they're not the same blood type. And this book is talking about blood types. It's not talking about what you converted to, what you believed, where you got benefits from, what your ID says, what the federal government says, Nah. It's a covenant with a God. Like, how we keep skipping that? Like, the whole premise of these people, Abraham's descendants, is that they're in covenant with God. These people think they are God without the damn genetics to live under a sun. So how are you the God of the sun if the sun is cooking your ass? Do the science. What the fuck? How come your blood type ain't compatible with the sun if this is where you're from? And these people are supposed to be from this story, and we don't have no fucking problem with the goddamn sun. You got a fucking problem with the goddamn sun. So how are you descendants of the sun people? I don't understand nothing. These people colonize suns. This sun is cooking a lot of people, including my mixed ass. The only difference is I'm mixed with both. Yeah, one of them 144 or something, or one of the 13th ones. I'm something else, but you know how dominant genes works and blood works. It's like, oh, we can use this, but we can't use that. We can use this, we can't use that. Doesn't matter. It worked out. I still came out 6'3", which tells you I come from giants. These guys. Remember, fresh off the Noah, they're still giants compared to mankind. They're not giants compared to Elohim, though. That's that Attack on Titan shit. You don't be catching that shit. All of our emperors and stuff are over 6'3". That's how you know. That's a blood trait. Our bones and everything. It's a different density. That's all. And it's probably from mixing correctly. Shit, you get the tall Dan and tall Judah, and you get something else, computer shooting. You might not have gotten right that time. You may have got the same mixes 200 years later, and then they finally got a chance to mix. And then, you know what I'm saying? And it just keeps happening. And someone brings in some Circassian girls, and it's like, all right, cling, 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 cling. And it mixes in. And then you get some other type of people. And I don't know where the fuck all these new people are coming from, by the way. But you know, I'm gonna mind my business on Abraham business. And it's like, all right, I'll focus on this side. But there is a this side. Obviously. We find ourselves subservient to this side with all these Mason builders and all these military people and all these government high IQ people who don't have the blood to survive here. It's a weird fucking story. You're gonna die here, no matter what the fuck you have. Whatever your tower is, it don't stack up to the sun. Created by them. They created this local sun, miércoles, meaning whatever its polarity or parameters are, is programmed by them the same way that we were. And you would think the same way that you were, but we know these guys can create these guys, and these guys can create these guys. So you understand? I don't have another column for that because then we're losing the fucking plot on King James English, which comes from him. So nothing on this side who ignores the buffer of who these people are can skip over us and go, matter of fact, I want to tell you what they believed and what they was doing. Bitch, you can't tell me what the fuck I be doing. Thus, you got to be able to see the Bible was written to these guys, but it's being transmuted from these guys. They're reading what they're saying. They're doing what they tell them to do. Remember, Noah is an emperor because he's a pharaoh. Bloodline pharaoh. That's why the pharaoh, the fake pharaoh, the synagogue of Satan pharaoh was trying to kill the firstborns. Because if one of them had a firstborn, it would be what? A pharaoh, an emperor. So he was killing the firstborn boys. So the true emperor of the bloodline did not show up. But Moses' mother was very slick and had Pharaoh's daughter raise him. So he was raised a bloodborne pharaoh under the government of the so-called pharaoh. But he had that thing on him. He was supposed to be the lord of that empire. But he's day one again, Moses. He's day one of the empire, but he never got out the desert. He passed the baton to Caleb and Aaron. Cool story. Still the same kingdom, still the same tribe, still the same blood types and the same people, man. It don't fucking matter which one of us it was. We're all related to the same story. This part is random-ish. No one knows which one of the firstborn boys it will be when it's tapped into that. But everything else is just positions. Everybody don't go to Mount Zion, man, and wrestle Quetzalcoatl, boy. Moses went by himself. Jacob went by himself. Everybody don't go to the mountaintop. Yeah, so if we're coming from Abraham or pre-flood Egypt, right? This Atlantis idea. But it tells you about the time period, and that time period tells you how advanced that society was at that time period. We lose track of the fact that we have very advanced societies and they die off. But we're watching one right now. But imagine everything that's ending now actually ends and goes weird, and then hundreds of years go by and you do it again. That's kind of like that. Abraham is after a reset. Remember, he's in Egypt after Egypt reset. He's after Noah. He's after a reset of the world. That's why these people down here writing about that, they can only tell you so many details about before him. It's immaterial to them, like, oh, what exactly happened? Who was Noah's brother, cousin, and neighbor? We don't fucking know. You know, Shem, Japheth, and Ham, allegedly. However you break that down, here we go. So you got three. If you got three brothers and their stock together against each other, you have 9 variations. Easy. At least 3 on Noah's Ark. He had at least 3 boys and 3 girls of each animal too. I know it's right. And then it got up to 12. And now it's up to 13 as of 1611. So these guys and these new mixes of people, I'm sure many of them can be genetically inferred from man parallel with Abraham's time too. Which wouldn't be a problem at all with their story and what their covenant is with their father with one of these, if they had one. They don't have to have a covenant with this at all, but then that means they're not the type to be emperors. Thus, they would not have kingdoms that reflect such things. This whole idea between Abraham and Jacob is they tell you is third party. There's three sons of God, three magi, three kings that come to see him, right? And one stayed behind. The other two went to Lot, his nephew. Remember, you got a parallel. You got a brother or a sister, and then they have a nephew called Lot. They don't tell you all their backstories, but you just know that he exists because this becomes Moab. All right, what does that got to do with Jacob? Nothing much, except for you're going to run into Jacob's uncles or Jacob's granduncles' kids outside in the wild, which is fine because they're technically the same blood as Abraham, which is from Noah, right? Old Egypt, Atlantis. Cool. But this covenant is what we're following in our book. We're following which of these tribes and bloodlines are still connected to the Elohim, because that's what gives us our power. This is where our powers come from. And these powers are encoded in our crystallis, in our blood, right? Our gifts and psychicness and telepathy and seeing the future and even doing stupid shit like this. Art, science, math. That's why they care fundamentally to write it down. That doesn't say that all of them care, but if you're up here on this ladder, on this side, you care because you're still in communion with something higher. Whereas if you're way down here, you're looking up at the empire and they're emulating and stealing the names of men. They probably don't believe what's on the other side of us, way from back there and shit. We didn't fucking ask them though. That's what I'm saying is you could take your ass back to where your mother from. Does she belong under this sun? All right, then you need to take your ass somewhere else and bother some other tribes, some other people, other nations, other governments and militaries, and trade somewhere else. Get your own building at least. Because this building has a sun and it is not dealing good with you. Anyway, I could have sworn Psalms 19:1, this building was made for us all over again. So it's not about what flag you have or where you are. It's knowing that under the sun itself, this was the covenant with you, with the creation itself. Everyone gets caught up in this shit because of the materials and the clout and what it looks like. But they leave this part out. Fuck a king or emperor or none of that shit when it comes to man. What did God say? What did God tell you to do with all of this? To take care of your people. Notice all the commandments are about neighbors, right? It didn't say family and friends. It's talking about your nation. If they're under you, Jacob, covenant with me, then you, Mr. Position, if you're of the bloodline, outside of captivity, obviously, then you're supposed to. In their prophecies, in their book, now these guys, their book says, hey, one day we're going to get another one of these. And then we'll get away from this shit over here and all this goofy shit going on. We can get closer to where we were going. We got some more stars to colonize, bitch. Hopefully that makes sense. On George Lucas, it should. Three. The far right column mankind smell NPC-ish. High IQ's a real joke too. Well, it's a system they made up, and I'm pretty sure it means something in a system they made up. What I'm saying is I'm not interested in systems they make up. What did God say? And then you just run from there. Bad math with no flashcards is crazy, TBFB. Their only flashcard left is the Epstein list, Mr. Now. If the Epstein list came out in full, what would happen? We pretty much know who's on it. They'd get them out of power and give the power to some other freak. TFB says it's a raise your hand if you're not on the list at this point. And honestly, most people don't know if they are or not anyway. That's the sad part about it. You couldn't really demonstrate this without reverse engineering the gifts that come with being such. And most people don't believe in that. So, like, it's weird that they have, like, checks and unchecks for what's capable of what they believe in. We don't have that problem. It's how to do it, not if it can be done. Mr. Now says, nothing. All the celebrities on it, people already forgot, don't care about. Half the politicians on it are dying. Oh, you talking about Epstein list. 3. Jonathan Lee 3. Yeah, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? Someone's trying to get a benefit out of this. Jewish people and their friends are Zionists. They're trying to get a benefit out of this Hebrew, Israelite, remnant, mystery, secret, glyph Kabbalah, you know, backflip into what the mind is type shit. Or you get a Luciferian version of their persuasion, or satanic or Satanist version of their persuasion, and they're trying to learn how to be human for the first time. And that's why it's insulting, because everything that they write in their books about their perversion is like, nigga, there's already a religion for that. There's already a science for that. All of that shit's in Egypt already. That's where we're from, by the way. See what I'm saying? And that's that mind your business thing. They've made their business the world's business. Just by showing up, just by putting themselves in the middle of your government, just by, you know, providing to you source materials, just by being plugged into the system of trade that's already existence, right? You don't even have to use force and guns to do what they did for real. They just kept showing up and kept offering stuff and kept taking stuff and, you know, what does they call it? Like scamming. They just kept scamming for power over time. And it's cool. Like, that's a cool fucking game they played right there. But what for? Then they find the Mayan calendar and freak out. They slowed the fuck down after they found the Mayan calendar now. They did. All that conquistador shit, all that colonial shit, all that slavery shit kind of died all at once. It's not because of war. Like I said, how can two white boys fighting in Virginia and North Carolina stop a war going on in California and Nebraska? Would they email each other when it was over? Of course fucking not. But for whatever fucking reason, after Civil War and getting access to those lands down there in what we call Mexico today, which it wasn't 200 years ago, in that way, is all of the remnant of the older stuff, the Toltec stuff, and the people that built us, if you will. They found that, and all of a sudden they started changing codes. They want to go to space. They want to reverse engineer fucking technology and floating materials. I'm talking about goddamn 1950s, right? They went from hating on niggas and civil rights to going to the goddamn moon. Don't miss that now. These German Nazis went from hating on niggas, United States side, and allegedly hating on the fake Jews, but we know real Jews were in Germany, since I'm a real Jew from Germany, by the way, on King James, right? So whatever that was, and then they said, fuck it, let's go to another planet. Let's go to the moon. Let's see if we can go to Mars, knowing damn well they can't leave here. Vonner von Braun, Tombstone, Psalms 19:1. So we know they had a Bible if you put Psalms on his tombstone. So, and you should read what that one says. Anyway, so they've been pretending since they put NASA together. Like grown-ass men. Building missiles and killing people in Japan and shit for no fucking reason. The same grown-ass men acting like they can go to space. And they wasted all their military, science, and math with the front-facing or the public-facing versions of things, which doesn't make sense. And how does that inspire or help them sustain a culture or civilization in the future if they bitch-ass die? It don't. So whatever secret space program or whatever secret multi-dimensional artifacts they got from us or other worlds they may have references to, they keep that super duper private, meaning they split their own timeline. They have that just for them, and then they have the stupid fluff bullshit and media stuff that they give to their own children and everyone else's. But we know they're hiding a different version of reality to themselves. What I have, you know, found peace and solace is like, either fucking way it ain't theirs, so fuck them. It don't matter what they know or what they're doing in secret. Everyone dies here. They don't understand that fundamentally, I think. And that's impossible if you've been with us since Egypt and you and these are your books and you decoded them first and it's your language and you've been studying this for 2,000 years in a row, and every fucking year you're discovering something new, some fucking reason why. Because it ain't fucking yours. Ain't nothing to fucking discover. If that's what your empire is built off of, first of all. Thus. So yeah. You're waiting for the jackass to finally land. And I'm thinking humanity needs to pivot its focal point off of them completely. We voting and waiting and investing in their ideas, a full stop. For what? They already proved that they lie about every fucking thing. They ain't going to no goddamn moon. This is a damn moon. They ain't bring us here. They don't know how the fuck they got here. I don't know how the fuck they got here. So I know they don't fucking know how they got here, right? They trying to get out of here. I'm not trying to get out of here. I'm trying to get them out of here. I can help. On Montezuma's grandson, I can help him. On King James' grandson, I can help him. That's what we do. That's just what we do. We help people. Can you fucking imagine? Teachers. What would I get in return, right? My own shit back. They can't offer me nothing. They crash landed here on some bullshit. Nothing they get from here, they can give back to me here and call it square. That's how fucked up it is. They can't pay us back. Nothing they pay us with is theirs. It's not their language, not their math, not their planet, not their resources, not their ideas. Nothing is theirs. They just have government. They have control. They have corporations. They have rules that we follow for some reason. Instead of shooting them in their fucking face, right? Thank God. Thank God, man. Thank God this ain't David enough for me. Thank God we have, as crazy and mysterious as our history has been, it seemed like the good guys kept surviving after a few years. Because you don't have nearly half the problems they ought to have, knowing who we are. That's with them poisoning us and doing shit to make us crazy and making us retarded with their vaccines, too. That's with all of their manipulation of our genetics. On top of that, if living life alone wasn't hard enough, like, these are some fucked up individuals, boy. And they're still gonna fucking die. All for nothing. They don't know how genetics works. They don't have the genetics to outthink their own genetics. Thus, they cannot manipulate higher dimensions. They cannot stop a higher dimensional project from their dimension. One more time. We were not created with them. They cannot do nothing to our creation. It's not them. It's not theirs. Thus, they don't have the math. What they should have did is worried about what the fuck they are. Instead of crashing buildings and stealing churches and artifacts and Indiana Jonesing everything, and sat the fuck down somewhere and be like, hey, how did we get here and why are we doing this? Don't tell me it's the fucking church. And don't tell me it's a Jew Bible and you don't know the Jews are where you're going on top of it, right? Propaganda. I know it's propaganda and brainwashing and benefit selling. We see it today. The formula hasn't changed for 300 years, but they say humans evolve and they haven't evolved out of benefits yet. So it's kind of fucking weird. But the time is here. The time is here. Fourth generation. IV. All over again. So, we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see if any cool math and science comes out from these guys. Israel just bought ChatGPT and OpenAI type shit, so we'll see if they're going to data center and waste all of our resources and starve everyone out so the Jewish guy can live in the sun a little bit longer. We'll see if that's where the world wants to put all of its priorities in, knowing they're going to die anyway. They're using their last hoorah for these faggots. They believe in IQs and shit. Goofy as hell. Dumb as hell. If they just took 1 minute to actually read that book in King James English. How do you invest your whole program of military and government to pissing off God, disrespecting everyone's people, and then not investing in your own longevity outside of money games? And then you find out they're 138 trillion in debt, 340 worldwide, and still don't have as much money as my grandfather had. Fucking losers. How they take over the empire and the kingdom just to be broke? Ain't that like a fortune cookie of all fortune cookies? Futile. What Solomon told him, it's like chasing the wind. I hope they read that again. Solomon had everything already, and he didn't want it. So what did you take? You definitely didn't take his wisdom. Because none of their fucking steps, their rules, their laws, or their agendas rhyme with everyone eating, drinking, and being merry. That book's supposed to be thousands of years old in their dumbass head. Why do you think that changed if he's a son of a god? Mm-hmm. Yep. David was fucking with foreign gods. Motherfuckers can't read, can they? Oh my god. If the people have a foreign god, then the foreign god will have their own empire and kings and queens and shit, right? All right. So if David is fucking with foreign gods on behalf of the women who have foreign gods, that means those women come from a different creation, from a different angel. So if he has a kid with a foreign god, it's quite possibly that that god daughter is who he's having kids with. Thus, Temujin, Solomon in Sheba. They can't read, bro. They're reading like people a book about everything else. That book, everything about everything but people. I don't understand. But they say they believe and they joined religions and came over here to kill the people of this book. Like, they whole shit retarded. Yeah, I believe in the concepts that your ancestors, that we, no, they didn't give them to us. Yeah, you don't even know who the fuck we are, so you can't even say you know our ancestors either. Because then you have to explain how you know our ancestors and how you don't know it's us. Then you have to explain how you know our ancestors and have all their shit and came here to us and then try to use it against us. Like, what kind of friend is that? I wonder why your raggedy ass ain't got no kingdoms. Look how you treat people in real life, genetically, up to this fucking day. They're fucking in power and can't fucking figure shit out. Gotta fucking create automated computers and shit to think for them. Like, that's fucking pretty fucking weird for a high per IQ capita ass bloodline of people coming from Poland, Germany, wherever the fuck they think they come from. On my grandfather's house. On top of that. They can fool the world, but they can't fool me. I know who the fuck my grandfather is. I know those kingdoms are ours, so they can't say they knew my grandfather and came from his kingdom and then come here to his new kingdom where his grandsons are, and I don't know these niggas. I don't know these niggas. I don't recognize them. Not genetically, not through vibration, not through spirit, aura, or none of the psychic senses. They don't give a reading. I can tell you that my whole fucking life. I don't feel them. Like, there's an older story there in which we were once together, and how the fuck we get here without them? And why are they just pulling up being fucking faggots towards us? You just got here and you on bullshit, but you came from there where we just was. Which one is it, right? Like, they're full of shit. Their history's completely fucking made up. The only history they get right is referring to our history, but they're trying to write themselves into it. That's why it's so messy. There is no black and white version. There's just no white version. Period. Why would Semitics be fucking white people? Why would they be using a Semitic language? Correct. So there is no white supremacy. It's a fucking dream. It's just evil is all they have. They don't have supremacy. They have a bunch of peaceful people minding their fucking business and they're encroaching on their rights and their happiness. And they're playing nice. They're running out of that nice time too on us. On God, they running out of it. Now they starving people. Oh yeah, they're running out of it already. I don't think people have thought far enough or far back enough to see how these stories go just with humans. But then you have a whole bunch of people who realize you killed all their grandpeople with this goddamn mRNA soon. I ain't off that yet. They killed my family with that damn experimental mandated vaccine that's not a vaccine no more. I don't give a fuck what they classify it as or how they classified it. They mandated it. So the sin, the death, the blood is on their hands. And I wish nothing but hells and hells and hells of ashes on the entire fucking United States government for that. The ones that participated in killing 7 of my family members. You feel me? And I'm saying that as a royal, though. I'm not saying that as a person or mankind. I'm saying that, like, my prayer to God is that I want justice for that. Life was already hard enough with they bullshit ass policies and make pretending and schizophrenia and fucking bifurcated ass reality, believing in McGraw Hill and some Jewish people from the 40s. That's an interesting story just for mankind to grow up through. But the fact that they overstepped all that shit, overstepped our land, overstepped our treaties, overstepped the annexation of Texas, overstepped everything, and then killed them. Like, nah. That enough is enough. Nah. I cool with the, indoctrination and playing stupid and blah, 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 what we gonna do now. I'm with that shit. But they mandated death. Per blood type, by the way. There's certain blood types that were not affected by it, by the way. Now all of a sudden they know how to do genetics, right? So yeah. I don't know what people think why all this bad stuff is happening to them. You think they're in control or this is an agenda. No. This is God warning them. Their fucking time is up. These people will cease to fucking exist, guys. God is not playing with them. I'm telling you. That's why their shit shutting down. They ain't got no money. And they don't know why. It's because of God. You know how miracles are. You know how, like, when you manifest things, you're like, damn, I don't know how that happened. But you're just grateful that it happened and you got to the other side of your dark night. Yeah, that's what this is like for me. On an empire level. They stole my empire. How do I get it back? Exactly. Yeah. That's it. Right? What's more righteous than that? You stole this shit from my grandmother and my grandfather. You stole it. You stole it. And you know what I'm saying? You stole it. You hypothecated. You pretended as if I don't exist on top of that. So it wasn't a negotiated thing, right? You wouldn't have to pretend when you negotiate that you sold EA to Saudi Arabia. Nah, you playing stupid and you're teaching people the wrong shit on purpose. So you're intentionally misguiding and misdirecting people so that they be equally, caught in the middle of this shenanigans. So they put people in the cannon fodder lanes too when this moment was going to return. I know. I read the Bible. They'll try anything to act like they can fool God. But they can't fucking fool me. I'm just a little ghetto boy from East Orange, New Jersey in crack era, and I figured out they bitch ass. How can they fathom getting out of any curse or any situation carried out by cherubim or Elohim? If I can just figure this shit out, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm stacking on my ancestors. They gotta be brighter than me. They didn't have all these dumbasses teaching them. But yet, still I rise. I still figured out, like, yo, this shit ain't right. Just on King James English, I know it ain't right. On Edamon, it ain't right. And then you find out it's not. Thus, they're fucked. We're not all living for benefits. Some people want to honor their mothers and fathers. That's a command. You know what a command is? That's like source code. You'll be pushed that direction no matter what you do. And anything you do that's not that will go wrong. It's your command prompt. It's not a choice. It's sin to go against your command prompt, yes. But don't miss the fact that it's a command prompt. God said, honor your mother and father. Well, if God says it, it happens, right? Thus, these aren't recommendations. Our ancestors are telling you how you were made, what's inside of you. These are the principles that are inside of you. Oh, they come from Egypt. Nigga, we come from Egypt. We're in fucking Egypt. It's the dumbass that came here stealing your shit who just put a flag called Egypt just a couple years ago and then calls East Libya, Ethiops, Egypt. What the fuck your grandmother say? And what did God say, first of all? Let's run that shit back with your fringes. With your tent, with your tents, with your fringes all over them. With your constellation designs on the tents, Indian. On Chaldea, right? Like, stop fucking playing, right? Like, the shit's weird out here. So the only thing that we could really do This is the Lord's Prayer, you know, on earth as it is in heaven. I've been asking God to restore the kingdom. And I know it's metaphorical. I know it's going to be within, without type of thing. It's the mentality thing. It's metaphysics. And then once you get that back, and then whatever you build together, Babel, will be just as great as if on earth as it is in heaven. Remember, Genesis already happened. So whatever we're building next, that's all we're here for. That's what my bloodline does. We push the fucking feeling on. But these people are way more evil than anyone in that book, bro. Like, when you realize how bad these lies are and what AIPAC and the Jewish people and Soros and all of them are doing, like, bro, they don't know when to sit the fuck down and take a victory that they created, right? They take the win in your stupid system you created and sit down somewhere. No. They gotta die trying to climb Mount Olympus of controlling something, let alone everyone's opinions and thoughts about things. Like, why the fuck would you do that in a nation of niggas whose first premise is freedom of speech, and if you don't like it, I'll shoot you in your fucking face? That's 1 and 2. Fuck you and whatever you got to say, and if you don't fucking like it, you got guns to back it up. Like, that's the premise of our republic. Step 1 and step 2, right? Say the fuck what you want, but I can't guarantee you won't catch this fucking bullet. There's no police yet, remember? Don't forget we're Indians, like, so we don't have these little white ideas. Protecting property. What property? You don't buy property here. You can only be defending your nation. Thus, it's an incompatible system on top of that. We don't come from that. Of course we want to be fucking stars of a dumbass colonizer system, right? A system designed against us on our own land. Why would we be at the top of that? Like, and then every other citizen I meet, like, you read history, you know what the fuck happened, you went to college for it, and you can't fucking figure out the psychology of people here? Do the fucking science, bitch. On King James English, why the fuck will we be at the top of a system that's here to steal from us? Exactly. So if this system is poised to steal and drain the life and resources of my people, then what must be the outcome of said system? Correct. Utter failure and destruction, right? But God is merciful, man. God ain't gonna take it out on everybody like they do. He's just gonna pull it Jenga by Jenga, man. And I kind of feel like that's what we're in the midst of. Remember, they've been bankrupt my whole life. They out of credit, that's all. And they out of time with me. I can't even pray for them no more. I can't even, like, imagine a world in which I would want to save them. Just by how they treated everybody this year. So, they're gonna die. I just hate being the messenger for it. But I'm a messenger of death. That's what they mean by demons. It's a messenger of death. It's not a bad guy. It's a bad guy if you're alive, though. Michael, messenger of death. We're messengers of death, degree-wise. You're in the land of dead. We're not in heaven. Messengers of the shadows, the unseen. Same story. Spirit, light. That's what Egypt is. Egypt's not a country. These are pharaohs. They don't have countries. Not when they started. That's not how we played that game. Egypt is a state. Not like a city-state, like a state of existence. Like water, liquid, gas. See, it's like they can't read when they stole this stuff. Or they didn't have our interpretation of the variables. It makes sense. They're stealing it. So messengers, angels, blah, blah, blah. No, we're just prophets. It's a bloodline of prophets, Judah. I'm no different. The problem is what they have me focus on. But yeah, when you have messengers of death around, death is around. Who has the keys to death? All right then, which is why we're the messengers of death. No one else has the keys but us, right? So who else could message you about death? I mean, could have sworn Genghis got the keys to death, man. Could have sworn if there's a messenger of death, it would be from that point forward. Shadow realm, the unseen, the unconscious. Let the dead bury the dead. Yeah, Emperor of the Dead. But what is dead compared to? Everyone misses that. Eternal life, right? Which is what everyone wants to get back to. Every soul. And then you have this temporary life, Maya, the illusion, which takes place in Egypt, by the way. God doesn't live in Egypt. God is in the eternal realm. Egypt is not in the eternal realm. Okay, so you understand. Locations have states. So it's multi-dimensional at the very least. Same story. So the eternal side of things, when you're permanent outside of your body, you're like, oh, that's the heavenly realms. So that's like 9 dimensions on up. But you're obviously in a temporary realm, an illusory realm, right? It's kind of more of like an illusion. And they tell you that. That's a cool way of saying quantum, by the way. They tell you this is a quantum reality. Well, this is not reality then if there's a prefix. If this is a quantum reality, then it's not reality. It's a quantumized reality. It's a holographic reality. Correct. Which is why there's so much light emphasis and frequency emphasis. Even the stars themselves. You call it sono, sound, luma, nescence. The essence of the moon. An illusion, by the way. Isn't the moon itself an illusion? Yeah, missed my Crow 777 conversation. So this realm is more like the moon. Hence all the Mohammedan things and the Allah things and everything that just rhymes with bodies, with humans. Humans are all up in that. But the problem is what Nephilim is body, like a nephish, soul, light from heaven. They're Nephilim, like a tribe called Quest. Intercessors. That's why, like, when Jesus shows up as one of these, he's the intercessor for man to get to God. He's the only intercessor for this, for the illusion. He's something tangible from a tangible reality showing up in the illusion reality to remind those sleeping, Neph, that, hey, you got a soul journey and you got a soul, you got light, you got these things you need to preserve, man. Don't spend too much time in this illusion corroding this. You'll run out of energy. Since this is an energy frequency spectrum, first of all. So a denser reality, a colder, negative, colder, denser. Like ice. Yeah, when hell freezes over. Whereas everything over here is described as fire, light, suns, all kind of shit. Well, you just do the law of polarity and go the other way. This positive, hot, lighter than a feather, right? So if you slow down light, if you slow down heaven, if you slow down the eternal, you lower its frequency at the right point, you'll get one of these. If you go too much further down, you don't have one of these no more. You end up somewhere else, right? But everyone with one of these knows if you crank your energy up, you get a lighter body, right? You're a light body already. And these human shells are just one of the many forms, perhaps, that you've ever occupied. But most people, when they dream of their true form, it's still similar to their current form. And that might just be the soul's template and not the man or your genetics template. And there's this weird relationship, I don't quite know it just yet, between soul and spirit, but I think the soul has a spirit. But I know that has to do with breath, so your life force itself, and there's only life force in the illusion. So the life of the spirit is within Maya then. If it needs breath, then it needs something physical, then it needs a body, so nephesh. So neph with a spirit. But the soul is forever. Or something, man. They try to 3D the shit, mind, body, spirit, but that's a little bit too much for me. I just know those are a partner deal. Anyway, this is very temporary. It was created to be temporary. If you read anything, so this gotta go with the hologram, Egypt, Maya, moon, all of it. Like that's just this experience on looking that way. But the thing experiencing this is two sides to one story, man. That's all. And I'm telling you, no one who's not interested in this, like people who don't find any of this, trust me, it is not their turn to worry about any of this. That's why it gets kind of weird because you'll realize that the amount of people who are looking that direction is very few. 80, 20, what do we call them? We call them the 85ers, right? That's a very small percent on the other side that give a fuck in all realms of life. In all realms of seriousness, it's always a very small group, and then that group's even split up. The way that we break it down is like 10% use it to their advantage, narcissist. 5% try to go out there and help the 85, right? You've heard of that science before. But we know there's a majority of man here. Hence, it was made for man, so you would think the illusion for man would have mostly men here. And that's why this story gets a little bit more interesting, because who are those 5 to 15%? That's interesting, but we already know a population number always keeps showing you this sign. And they say that it's their top 1% that be in our fucking problems. I know that's right. There's another 1% out there somewhere, give or take, however we do this shit. So those are very small numbers of people who have to be aware of the game to fuck it up for everybody else. And then there's a growing number of everyone else who knows something wrong about that because they interiorly believe something similar to all of this, but they don't have the right answers because of these niggas right here. And there's a few of us over here, I'm like, I'm fucking trying to tell you these niggas is cap. Fuck what they're talking about. It ain't theirs. Feel me? I can't even get to them yet. I don't even know what that would look like. I wouldn't know. I would not know. I wouldn't even fucking bother in my life. If this wasn't my YouTube channel, I would never go the fuck outside and break this down for nobody. It's useless. They don't even fucking know who he is. But they swear to God they love Jesus. And that's exactly who it is. This is the real Jesus. The idea that Jesus is based on is this guy here. This is the craziest thing. He's the Emperor King of Kings and shit. Like, the king of death and shadows and all kinds of shit of states, right? And that's where you get all that Zoroaster and all that shit spun up. That's where you get all that Aaron shit and that Moses staff and Carlos V, his grandson. Like, you get it all through an emperor of Magi, by the way. Remember Jesus' visit by the Magi? Of course you do. The three kings are always Magi's. That's what we are. That's what Afro-Asiatic is. Notice the vow. Anyway. Yeah. They're Magi's, man. He's a Magi. Absolutely. He was visited by three kings. They tell you that. And I got the imposter of the three kings on the thumbnail for this video. Come on now. I'm tapped into this shit. I know what's going on. Someone's copying someone's homework on the illusion side. But they can't copy the frequency. You feel me? You can't access that if you don't have it, period. Something soulless or cloned or whatever the fuck they're doing down here on this Mayan Egyptian moon, it could, you know, you got to be assigned by somebody to get one of these, into one of these, to get one of those. They're trying to copy these, and not even these. They're trying to get like the cool shit. I want to skip the line of fucking, I guess, whatever soul evolution they ask how to do in whatever they are. I don't even know if they're not fucking automatrons or the fucking simulation itself fucking us up like the Matrix did with Neo. I don't fucking know. I tell you what, they can't answer these fucking questions though. So it's almost as if it doesn't fucking matter. And it doesn't, honestly. All that matters is if you understand the pyramids. As long as you understand what these references are and you know that there's two sides to your story, one that's higher and one that's lower, you got it. You're halfway goddamn there. And most of us are stuck over here dealing with people who are stuck down there. Absolutely. And the more you vibrate higher, the more dense they seem to you. And the more you vibrate higher, the lighter and easier things seem. But what happens, Sarah? Instead of you going forward, what do people do? Even me. You look behind. And you look behind you, Sarah. Sin. Stuck in the past, where everything is dense. Motherfuckers in my tribe are still trying to figure out the patterns of Egypt. Every pattern that came from Egypt ought to be in you already. So we don't need to keep digging outside of ourselves to get to where we need to be. You already have the answers. You already fucking know who you are. So anyway, these guys were more concerned with this shit over here, boy. I'll tell you one thing for sure, two things for certain. These prophets were like, yo, y'all need to fucking understand, y'all about to fucking die in a minute if y'all don't get out of this goddamn illusion over here, Sarah. You better move the fuck on somewhere. I'm telling you, man, y'all are trying to hold on to this density, this dimension. You're trying to hold on to this Egyptian density dimension. You're trying to keep Earth at a lower dimension. You're trying to re-sow these illusions. Maya, NASA, deceive. They did this to keep us stuck more than anything, because we have the ability to transcend. They say misery loves company. I see. They put a lot of fucking time and money into this. Whereas we were like, anyway, what did God say? Like, I'm trying to figure out what book I need to read, what church I need to go to, because I know something wrong and fishy over here. They told us that they're fucking slave drivers and didn't mind hanging and eating and killing niggas and dropping bombs on niggas for 15 years for no reason. Like, I know I ain't trying to go that way. Like, what school I got to graduate to be one of them niggas? Like, that's crazy. Anyway, over here, what my grandfather say, you feel me? What did they all say, actually, about this state of existence? Eat, drink, and be merry. That's a lighter note than all this shit over here. Work hard, try to corral a girl to be agreeable, vote in your idiocracy, and hopefully things will change for your grandchildren. Like, nah, that ain't magical enough for me, buddy. On Afro-Asiatics, I haven't even heard an Afro-Asiatic tell me some shit just yet about any of this. Matter of fact, why are we using an Afro-Asiatic language, but is never a fucking Afro-Asiatic teacher in none of these fucking places? Yeah, that's what the fuck I thought. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm back over here thinking later, like, all right, I'm going over here towards the heavenly eternal side because at least I know this part is real because of my experience as one of them. Thus, it's like being in two worlds. You're in this world because that's what your body is for, but you're not of this world. You can be in the world, but you're not of this world. Your soul and your spirit is not an illusion. So if this side is illusion, then this side is reality. Well, if reality is projecting the illusion, halo, hollow, angelic, it's an angelic illusion. So who's being fooled here if the prompter for the illusion is coming from heaven? Angels. Maya is for the sons of God, since God created it. Correct. Ding, 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 ding. So not only are they playing the game with our controller in our grandmother's living room, they're playing a game of angels in the illusion of Egypt. And this is the Veda stuff. Or Vega. The Vegas. I'm in Las Vegas. I'm an Indian in Las Vegas. Quite literally. Moorish Latin, Las. That's like multiple L's. El Rey. Yeah, that's a Hebrew derived language. That's why Spanish is Moorish Latin or Moorish Hebrew. But don't forget who it is. So when I look for Moors in these, when I'm really trying to identify with the mixes those of these Saracens is which ones have these. The percents are in. Man said, you of your father the devil, though. So you have some that are father in heaven. You have some that are father of the devil. Remember, he talking to the Kohen instead of Khans, king of Jews. You have your father the devil. You ain't nothing like me. They fighting over the 13% tribes of Israel. And this is the percent we are to this day in these bodies. 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. It's encoded in our language to always tell you who this is. Is it not written? You'll never get nothing different. All their rules and laws and their happy mediums and things they discovered is always going to rhyme with us. 8 plus 5 is 13, yeah. What are we talking about? Israel, bro. You're using Israel's language as of the modern era. This ain't the only era we lived in. How the fuck they get English? How the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck, it makes common fucking sense to me. But yeah. The L is 13, man. 13% came down, man. I'm telling you. 13 of them, 13% of them be coming down here, boy. Yeah. Yep. Messengers of Death, Part 2. Vagus nerve, aka Venra. 3, card decline, insufficient funds. Insufficient Vespian gas. Our favorite message. Insufficient Vespian gas. That's the last thing you want to fucking hear during a war. I need hydras. You really do. You make 100 hydras, you probably win. Custom GPTs now. They retarded and got bad genetics with a conundrum. Yep, they are approximating this stuff just like a dog would approximate being a human. Man, when I become human, I'm gonna have all the dog food I want all day because I know it's all in the cabinet. Yeah. It's a very similar way of approaching that problem. Man, when I become a god, I'm gonna have so much money, I can finally have infinite businesses and create kids to fill out of thin air. That is crazy. Jalert says that's like the left-hand path or right-hand path from the person's perspective, the hell and right to eternity. Yeah. But it's not a fixed point. It's law of rhythm. You're going back and forth. You're trying to go closer, and then you're trying to go like here instead of you're trying to go. They even got the eat, drink, and be merry order wrong. Cause who the fuck drinks wine before dinner? Oh man, manners. Where's our etiquette? Vanra, Venray, Benray, Benray. Yep. Vegas, Nevada. Listen, it's a dead giveaway. The state in the city they put in that bitch is all Moors. It's all Spanish. Like Los Angeles, the city of angels, like the Moors and Indian Associates. Like it's all Spanish Moors and Negroes. Like it's all here. And they took Moors out of everything to make you forget that Moors are here in their land. Like it's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. And it said that the Moors discovered America. It said that someone who's not Moors discovered America. Where's our history, Bruce? Ah, hence. The dumbest thing they did was keep the Bible here. It's our BIOS. Mohammedans was our operating system as of 400 years ago. Meaning we were doing a whole different math and science by then, obviously. Motherfuckers trying to go to space. So yeah. Our book tells you what age we're in because of the agriculture influence. Yeah, this is that long ago. The New Testament is recent era, but that's not all the New Testament. That's not that book is not all about that era. That book is all about him and all those people who were being notified. Like, look, shit about to change. You better get your affairs together. Listen, even if the devil, whoever the devil is, because they translated that shit, but the Baal or the Balak or Baraks or the Balams or that version of life, that Abel type of thing, Abal, Abal, Cabal, Abel, those descendants, they'll try to snuff out Cain and vice versa, right? No matter what polarity you put on it. I could just tell by the language that Abel is the one, right? So, because everyone else is a Canaanite in Canada. Can you imagine? Why would Abel be here if he died in the garden, not on earth? Weird story. So yeah, if you follow the clues, man. If you follow the clues, bro. Yeah, the garden is a different state. It's a different density. So much so that before Cain was told that he's going to leave the garden, he took a peer of where he was going. He said, hey, they will surely kill me if you send me out there. Correct. Correct. This is a different state. It's fallen state on top of that, right? That's why Noah had to come to redeem them. Noah, who was the grandson of Enoch. Enoch, who saw the visions of said redemption already. And that's way before you get out of Genesis. So book one is book one solved book one already. Book one leads into Abraham. Abraham leads into Jacob. Jacob into Israel. And then what you have after all of that, because that's an Egyptian Gnostic story, then it turns into a lineage time period of people since who are now as a collective related and now are under the kingdoms of Israel all the way until 1611. All the way until the American Revolution. All the way until Civil War. That's why that book still exists. Because that book was here too. My family. And we have brothers all over the world. Their families. King James has sisters. Their families. Queen Elizabeth. Whoever she got married to. Their family. Then they have a kid. He married someone else's. Their family. They have a kid. He married someone else's. Their family. They have a kid. He married someone else's. Their family. All the way down to me. And many of you, I assume. It don't matter how many times it went beep, 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 beep all through the constellation. Is it not drawing Israel? I wish people understood that. The book isn't really about skin color. It's about genetics. Your skin color just tells you whose genetics you have, or it tells you whose genetics you don't have. It can be very misleading too. I know plenty of passing white people. Plenty. Throw you off. It'll mess up your whole idea of life. Wait a minute, you mean you're not white? You ain't got a white mama or a white daddy. What about grandmother? Somewhere, someone's fucking lying. How you a quarter white and you whiter than me? I'm a quarter white. It's weird, but it's dominant genes versus other. That's all. Yeah. Yeah. So even if you are mixed sandcastle, I'm a mixed sandcastle. All fucking 12 tribes of Israel plus the new one, 13, and then 400 years since then, and all that weird shit that they brought over here. And then here we go again. We mix to the bottom of society. That's crazy, boy. Motherfuckers are evil. It's evil. But at least I know where to look for the tribe. They would not be at the top of this society since it's not ours. And it loops all over again. It's a pyramid being turned upside down. Thank you. Yeah, it's not hard to tell. If they're conducting weaponized narrative against my people, then it shouldn't be my people in those positions of power weaponizing power against themselves. So when you climb that ladder and you start to see my people, I already know they a fucking sellout. The story writes itself. Kanye hits the glass ceiling. He doesn't get to the other side. He never will. Look at his handlers. His handlers exist as handlers because he has to pretend to be someone else. They have to pretend to be who he is. He has to, oh, I said a thing about Jewish people. We wouldn't have to if they kept their bitch ass in their own fucking country, on Israel. This is new Israel. They keep the old one, which isn't theirs anyway, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, all right, what the fuck you over here doing with Kanye for? He should be an Israelite descendant. Why would he have a Jewish handler? How can something not us handle us anyway? It keeps breaking itself. The only thing you have is the disbelief that it's us. That's tough. One lie changes the whole fucking timeline. But they told more than one lie. Imagine. So you see how it stacks so easily. But none of them come to me with that bullshit. Not one of them call me. Not one of them email me. Not one of them try to get this right. And not one of them come across me and tell me nothing different. And I've been talking shit like this for years, and I'm 40 years old, so I'm hard to miss. And that's how I learned in real life. Like what people do when you present to them the truth, because you feel in the frequency. Fuck what I'm talking about. Like, you go find it for yourself for real. You still have to piece it together, but they don't do none of that. And that's my point. We doing way more than the people who claim to be what it is. Anyway, they don't teach, show, study, read shit that comes from us anyway. So it's like they only get the benefits of the ish, kinda, I guess, of what it means in history, but they're not the ones in history doing none of that. They didn't die for our sins. No faggot that looked like them. They ain't help us out of Sartaria. They ain't helping us now here in fucking America. They haven't helped anybody with shit, or they wouldn't be losing all their fucking countries. Now, it's not Jews being kicked out of fucking kingdoms and countries. We built the fucking kingdoms. They calling themselves Jewish, get kicked out of everywhere they fucking go. They're not in the Bible. Different story. They're not the synagogue of Satan either. They be copper colored. They're not copper colored. So even then, if they want to assume the bad guy position, they're still making it up. Like, Jesus in the crowd of people talking to his brothers and sisters. I mean, they at least the same blood type and nationality. So the Kohen of Jews show up ain't going to be a black guy and then he's the white guy, or they're all white guys and there are no black guys at a time where they're speaking a fucking phonetic language of Hebrews. All right, so yeah, no, I don't. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of their bullshit, bro. On Candace Owens, I'm tired of it, right? What's your boy's name? What's the other one that's trying to do this research or trying to get at them politically? All of them are. All these pussy ass bitch ass niggas. Wait till everyone's fucking broke and now you want to speak up. Shame. Yeah, they wouldn't be on this type of shit until the fucking well dried up and they other fucking working. They were working with Ben Shapiro and shit. Weird ass niggas. It's as soon as they lose their benefits, then they want to tell the truth. That's a fucking weird story. What is that gonna fucking do? Exactly. But same, but in the same gesture of how last minute that is, they're not speaking to us anyway. They're speaking to white people. So now white people, whatever nations and blood types they have amongst each other, as not black people, if you will, they get to see this information from where their benefits are and go, that is weird. These are not Jews. It's even in their name. They're Jewish. So they're not Jews at all. Wait, what do Jews got to do with America? And what's going on over here in democracy, in the Constitution, in the Republic, in the banking, in the fiat, in the copper mines, in the Great Lakes, and all this place? What do Jews have to do with all this United States thing? Exactly. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Because the United States belongs to the Jews, not Jewish people. My grandfather's a Jew. He created the United States. They're not us. So obviously something happened to my people before I got here. I'm still John Smith's grandson. So he's a Jew. I'm a Jew. 13 generations of Jews. Mixed with all kinds of other things. Don't fucking matter on King James English. Dominant genes from angels. So Jew. This was ours. We built it. We created it. Constitutions, Indian tribes, Arabic, and all kinds of languages. You understand how kingdoms work. Blah, 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 blah. They're using King James language to write the rules. Got bad news for you. That's Judeans. Thus, it's a Judean demonstration. So you have Jewish people working with white-ish German, Polish people trying to keep control and influence through the political powers that they inherit from the trust of the people participating in a democracy now. So they didn't fight or win nothing. These faggots just did this 100 years ago. Did you see a war happen? No. You voted for these dumbasses. Over and over and over again. Even when it came to time to kill Jesus, right? There was a vote. Like, that's democracy, right? That's Roman. That's somebody else's shit. That wouldn't be ours. You see someone voting in the desert with Moses in there? The closest you see to voting in the Bible is casting lots. You know, casting lots is divinity, where they ask a spirit. Jonah the whale. It's right there. And it's in a few other places. So it's clear for me to see which one is heritage and cultural, which one's usurped and reflipped and repurposed with liberals and people from other countries. Like, you gonna fucked up your whole other country right in fucking front of us in HD 100 years ago, and they gonna bring your stupid ass here to run ours? Why you get to fucking play in my face on Pocahontas and John like you're either one of those sides? And get to determine the course of humanity through these wars and these fucking politics for the rest of the fucking world? For all 300 or 500 million Asians, all 500-ish Africans, I doubt it. Whatever the fucking numbers are. Who the fuck asked these people to even fucking come here? I want to start there. They're not we the people of the people. So who crossed our desk where we voted to allow other people in here, let alone not just let them in, but let them run the fate of us who are the... Like, you understand what I'm saying? We the people. Our demonstration, our labor, our tears, our sweat, our roads, our names, our languages, our cities after my grandparents. And we do all this, and then they get to come here and then be elected and get corporate third-party foreign banks to run corporations locally as long as they pay taxes to a government, and that money never gets back to the people. Matter of fact, they barely tax them, so it's kind of like they're fucking here for free playing in my fucking face on my grandmother's land too, right? Yeah, you see how like it just all crumbles. It's like, wait a minute, they're not even accountable to these things because they're not even paying taxes to these things. So who the fuck got them here? Oh, some APAC funded Jewish yuppie fucking idiot in college who got a cool position, and here's $11,000 and a little white boy that you can have. We won't tell you as long as you go to Epstein Island ass niggas. Like, that's where we're at today. Going to a fake ass moon landing to a fucking pedophile island. That's all recent history. So just imagine the same type of bullshit in my 40 years, subtract 100 years and do 40 years of the same. And do one more in just 40 years after 1752. You get 250 years of the same failure over and over and over again. It's pile up on the idiots. And once enough people get sick of that game right there, that dynamic of the game, you'll see it. You'll see that they'll disappear. It's not democracy, even. It's not republic. It's none of that. These are foreigners. These are foreigners. And you have secret agencies that bring them in and give them fake IDs and fake positions and fake backstories. And you know this already. Why? Why do they do that? Why must it be them? How come it's never no one from Turkmenistan? Where are the monks amongst us? Where the fuck are these people from Uruguay? Where the Ugandans at? They seem like a beautiful people. Like, what the fuck is? You got Chinese, Japanese, Korean, but I know you got like 100 other kind of things over there. How come they're not coming over here and running corporations and politics, right? There's always these niggas pretending to be these niggas. And if that's the pivot of the fate of the world, guys, if they're responsible for the nuke reset button, trying to pretend to be us, what does that tell you about us? Yeah, we must be a really fucking big deal down here. So I can kind of guess what the big deal is. I don't think they can. Their shit falls apart when we're not entertained. Show me what you got. It's that and Rick and Morty, but I think on a more primitive level, when we're unable to create, it resets. Yeah, they stop us from doing what we're created to do. It's like, you know how it is. It's physics. It's if you stop the light or you stop water or you stop flow one place, it bursts somewhere else. So they've stopped us. They stopped me. I swear to God, they stopped me. All these stupid ass systems and rules and changes and everything that they put, we got to stay up to date and, oh, let's go this way. Let's go this way. Let's save up for this. Oh, they can change the amount of everything. They can take all the money out of this thing. They can shut this down. Like, all right, this shit willy-nilly as fuck. Willy-nilly ass system. Because they're fucking incompetent pedophiles. Like, at the end of the day, like, everyone's suffering and dying, and my grandmother's fucking dead because of incompetent fucking Jewish pedophile that's a Jesuit working with fucking Templars, and we supposed to be making decisions between whether or not they're fucking Poland or Germany 100 years ago. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. As an American Indian, as a descendant of kings and emperors, I don't give a fuck what their story is. Why does that have anything to do with us here? Black, white, or indifferent? It has nothing to do with any of us. Like, I'm tired of everyone suffering and dying and trying to negotiate with these fucking faggot-ass terrorists. They're fucking terrorists, bro. And they put that shit on God and on the Bible, on my ancestors, on the blood, and on the fucking clay of every fucking Toltec that's ever fucking been here for hundreds of years. On top of that, right? So, like, my spirit, my soul, my angels, my spirit guides, and all that other unseen shit that we have to fucking be initiated by ourselves because these dickheads fucked up education. I ain't forget anything. So, like, yeah, bro, like, I really think when you're in a story or a timeline like this, it ain't about trying to get something right in a dimension that once existed, blah, blah, blah. No, for us, the new kids on the block, it's like, what the fuck happened to my grandparents? Who fucking did that to my grandparents? That's why I'm here. I don't give a fuck about what the fuck they give a fuck about. I'm not them to give a fuck about it. What's my family's business? Oh, the whole United States of America, from the top to the bottom, at the very least. Last bookmarked by them. Remember, this all happened before I got here, so I'm checking out their references. Their reference was, we speak this language, King James English, 1611, Virginia. All right, Saponi Indians, that's me. I could have sworn my grandmother. All right, and she's an empress of them. Part 2, part 3. All right, so she's been here a really long fucking time at least. So I know I've been here a very fucking long time at least. If I go back to Saponi Indians, the first ones they ever met in their fucking story, on my grandmother and them. On John Smith, my grandfather. I get my height and my color from him. So imagine. So, like, I don't understand anything. Like, how we go from that. They taught me this in school, by the way. Mind you, this is not my family teaching me. I went to school to learn about my family getting here. to mix with my other family that's already here, just to find out the other family's just returning because they came from here. But it's all new family, I guess, as of 1611. And then from 1611 to 1775, oh, something went wrong after 150 years. All right, sometimes niggas die. And then some other nigga come in and some other nigga, just like room for 3 or 4 different kings to die. I get it. All right, but something weird happens after that because that story's about up there, but I got family all on the Khalifa side, we're Mohammedans. So what about them during this time? I could have sworn they had a statue of Libra. That tells me they in this damn book on Venus. So it's like, all right. So the World Fairs, when they started changing their mind, they took Christopher Cologne and made him a Columbia bitch. Columbia added some faggot shit. Oh, United States became very faggotish during Reconstruction. Yes, bitch. Freedom for gays. What the fuck's that got to do with us? I'm not a democracy, a republic of faggots, bro. On King James, on Sodom and Gomorrah. Even if we had such a thing for those people, we'd give them their own land and their own factions. What the fuck's that got to do with our kingdom? Nothing. So what happened to our kingdom? What kingdom? It didn't exist. There's no kingdom here. You're speaking King James English. King's English. You're speaking King's English in America, bitch. And it was brought here by his son, John, my grandfather. So don't act like you know James either, bitch. So why do you speak a king's language if you've never been to a kingdom of angels? Well, I'm Jewish. I'm Caucasian. All right, then. So y'all playing everyone's fucking face. Who's playing in their face? Why are they so fucking stupid? McGraw-Hill. Where did that start at? General Board of Education? All right, that's Frederick T. Gates. Sound like Billy Gates. Sound like some other fucking eugenicists always fucking with genetics and viruses and all kind of shit making people sick, including killing my fucking grandmother, right? Them niggas. Okay. And then the Rockefellers. Oh, the people who bought up all the shit from the people who overthrew the politics and did all the subversion and false flags in the 1800s. They ran out of chip on their dip, and now they selling it to these faggots that got billions of dollars stolen from other kingdoms and Ottomans and everybody that they took advantage of over there after their fucking famines. Cool fucking story, bitch. You two niggas come together, and all of a sudden it's the United States of us as of 1920 to 1940, and I don't see none of us in your damn government. On Barack Obama, a damn Irish African. All right, then. So this it ain't got nothing to do with me at all. It's weird. I live in a place where I'm from, speaking a language that comes from my family, with a Bible, a God, a reference, and a whole bunch of spiritual discernment that comes from those people. But I'm here, and these faggots ain't from here, there, or anywhere that I know, and they tell you they just got here. Why they running anything in a democracy that ain't theirs? Huh. Oh, I got a fucking problem with people not paying attention to the damn dancing barrier. Okay, cool. They're not gonna help. All right, they don't smell the bullshit in this elephant room, do they? They ain't gonna help. Cool. What do you do next? You can't go to them. You can't go through the system. They made it up. They're stupid, and it's new. It's not for that. I know what I understand what they did. I get it. If I was a pathetic piece of shit, but I'm not. Thank God. So close. But you go the other way. You know, all right, I got to get out of this. This is way too dense of a reality for me. Where do I go up? All right. I got to fine tune my own vibration. I got to heal some things and understand some things and stay away from other things and get going in a different, brand new direction. All of a sudden, feathers start falling down. UAPs start showing up, letting me catch them on camera. I'm starting learning angel math. I'm starting understanding things through dreams and stuff. Life starts meaning everything that the Bible said already, plus more, because it's been time since that writer thought of these things. We're not the same writers, at least. Like, cool. It's a cool fucking story. They make you waste your whole fucking life to find the goddamn truth. No wonder why no one's fucking happy. You gotta get out of the living the lie part first. You gotta get out of living the lie part first. Once you get out of living the lie part, then you try to build. You can't build nothing off no damn lie, bro. I'm telling you as a witness. Ain't nothing moved for me in the spiritual dimension unless I prioritize the goddamn truth. That's how I see all these tarots and witches and all these goofy people, man. on the degrees that they be on. I'm like, nah, you ain't got it yet. Not because their system is wrong or their grandmother or their recipe or their tarot cards they bought off Amazon. No, no, no. It's the fact that they're pivoting into these dimensions thinking that the reality of the physical is the truth. Like, so what are you going to use this spiritual dimensional stuff for? Are you going to use it to make more of the lie? You're going to be disappointed and you're going to become a fucking spiritual narcissist because you're going to believe what you were taught and you're using these other hidden occult things to compound more of what you were taught, which is a lie. So using something supernatural to stretch out your benefits in a lie to begin with, which is why they're so easy to see. It's so easy to see. They're not interested in the fucking truth. They're interested in the fact that the system says fuck them, but now they have a sidestep that they can use tertiarily to acquire some of the things. Jesus Christ, can you imagine if we built with our own fucking hands? You wouldn't need so much of everyone else's fucking other ideas, would you? Of course, it makes sense one day, but it doesn't to us. And we're groomed that way. We're groomed that way by this fucking lying ass system. So I understand the 85. They got a weird ass Microsoft install where all the DLLs are missing. It can barely get on the fucking internet. It don't stay on long enough before a blue screen of death. Like, this shit got a virus in it. And then you find out when we're born, they injecting viruses in us. Ain't these the same fucking German psychopaths, Project Paperclip, why we went to World War II after? Then why the fuck would you bring they bitch ass, weird ass people here to inject our babies with their ideas? Yo, white people, wake the fuck up. Yo, goofy asses. My people, what did God say? Y'all gotta answer to God. White man can't help you for that. You can't blame the white man or the Jewish man. It's in your genes. So you're blocked off of divinity because you want some bullshit individually. Don't lie to me. I've been through hell and every other dimension in between it. At least once. So, nah. Thank God I'm not worrying about that. That's not my ministry. That'd be more archaic. But we're good. We're good. We're in a good timeline. We're in a better timeline now. I can tell by to the proportion in which people figure this out. They made it unfigure-outable for a time. Now it's figure-outable, meaning the time has changed. Cool. And that's triangulation. That's algebra all over it. I can tell where the game is moving based on what we're recovering and what we know or what we talk about where the consensus is. I can tell it's rising above the lie and McGraw-Hill and all the fucking shit from the damn Gates family. But it's not moving fast enough for some of us. I understand everything because it's a slow process. It's a cocoon. It's a Crystallis even. It's on the way to Premier Mobile. It's on the way to Empire level. We didn't even get to the stars yet though. What is that? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Like they talking about that fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I say if you want to save this dimension bullshit, do some mushrooms. You don't realize all that dimension bullshit they talking about. They don't have no idea what the fuck they talking about when it comes to dimensions. Because mushrooms will show you dimensions within your dimension. I'm sure DMT and frogs and everything else too will tell you that your brain is lying to you right here. Fuck your lofty idea. You feel me? Like you can test all these things. There are other dimensions right here in front of you. All you need is a different filter. And you'll know it too. And you can interact with it and it'll give you feedback and you'll learn from it. And then when it fades off, it won't be there no more. But it didn't go away. So I don't know. I don't understand this. I don't understand this fifth dimensional bullshit that be on. Like, nah. You ain't got enough THC or fucking mushrooms to even start to play that game with me. It's totally different. And what I'm saying is when you go vertically, it's totally different than that. But they're describing the vertical thing as something so stupid. Because it is. What they're pivoting off is stupid. So what they're reaching for is stupid. You gotta get out of that lie level first. You gotta figure out your family story for real. You gotta see the pattern in it. Like if your family came from somewhere else, like what the fuck was going on? Motherfuckers trying to take something or lie to them, right? All at the same time in the same generation, right? Yeah, weird. Seemed like a fucking worldwide event. Because it was. You can't do that with a horse. So someone's lying about even how they did it. That's okay. They got way more now with us. And they still can't do it. Again. So, yeah, man. Just remember that when you wake your ass up, again, you don't think this shit makes sense, and you're gonna read the Bible again and it's gonna make sense, and then your life is gonna have a certain meaning. You're gonna enter a new chapter and you experience these things, and the Spirit's gonna test you. So your life is gonna reflect your awareness, and then you go into a new scene with this awareness. You meet some people who kind of be agreeable with you on it, and it'll go a certain way, and then it'll stop again, and you're gonna learn something else, and you're gonna keep going away, and then until as many reiterations is required for your path. When people like they go through a spiritual awakening, I'm like, which one? These shits don't stop. On the Quran, they don't stop. Right? There you shit. The Quran said he was up to 60 still getting revelations, aka spiritual awakening. So it's really for the rest of your life. And then if we were the type of blood types that live longer, you get another one like at 115, 120. I think your third row of teeth grow in after you're 115, 120. Yeah. You have a third row of teeth that grow if you make it past 100. It's on record with a Saudi Arabian guy. But we don't live that long, so it's useless information to people who are projected to work to death by 68 to 70. But if you could do 50 more years on top of that, you might grow a third row of teeth if it's in your genetics. That means you're intended to even live longer than your fucking bullshit ass, colonized ass, work every day for no fucking reason, bipolar, not in the sun long enough, always in a fucking square room, having weird stale air, no fresh air coming in, but niggas worrying to me about smoking, like all kind of weird shit going on down here. Well, we can't live long enough because of these niggas. Period. Like it always loops back to the niggas making decisions, and it's like, why is a foreigner making decisions for me locally? Where are they from again? Oh, that ain't theirs either. Yeah. So why are the people who don't have a place to be from, in the place where I'm from, telling anybody here amongst my people what to do anyway? I'm tired of that shit. Like on God and everything in between us. Like I can't wait to see that day. But in the meantime, just understand spiritual awakening is going to piss you off. Then you got to like reground yourself, and that means it's time for you to take a new perspective. You find a perspective where you're less pissed and more clear and more awakening, and then you walk in it. You attract new things in that new awareness, and it's going to repivot you again, and then you're going to get pissed off again, and then you got to reposition your awareness and your perspective to not be pissed off and find the higher side of it. Go that way, and it's turn by turn GPS. I'm telling you, there's so many people down here who ain't even fucking hit start on the quest yet. And that's what's egging my ass. Like, it's not even like in those movies and shit where it's like, oh, there's a secret group waiting for us to wake up, and they're all ready for us, and they invite you to Hogwarts or Professor X Mutant Academy. Nah, niggas is waiting for a fucking free check from Trump or some benefits from some Democrats. It don't fucking matter which version of the same bullshit it is. It's all the same bullshit. The House is closed because of Democrats and fucking Republicans. Pick your favorite. Motherfucking fucking you over. Either way, they're both fucking you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody know what's at stake here. Everybody know these people are hungry. Everybody knows half the goddamn shit is fake. Everybody knows inflation and the fake numbers. I don't have to be a crypto bro to understand it doesn't fucking make a difference. Like, it's a bunch of dumb ass post-colonial bullshit. We're in a world where no one wants to be colonized by some fucking idiots with some weird sexual behaviors with people way underage and shit. On top of that, no man, I wish death on them. Nah, divine judgment on that shit. The fuck? Nah, they don't need to be here if that's what type of time they're on. So, they killed my grandmother. I ain't forget. And my granduncle. And my grandfather. And my Aunt Crystal. And like 5 to 10 other people I'm really close to or have known at some point in my life. Some producers I know. Some of my favorite famous people. It's killing motherfuckers because they're stupid. They're not their ancestors. And then they refer to the white people back then. Those ain't your ancestors either, nigga. You're not even related to them. You're doing this based on skin color? How fucking convenient. So, yeah, even on that level, it's stupid. You ain't related to those white people. And they ain't speaking for themselves. How about you ask their sons? Show me Thomas Jefferson's kids again. They're not in politics ever, like the first presidents ever, kids never like genetically wanted to be an admiral of the Navy or in the politics. Like, oh, that's weird. But here I am, doing all the same shit all my fathers did. The fuck? Nah. Whether it was 200 or 400 or 2,000 years ago, I'm just in the same bag as them. Music, math, science, and having this devil fucked up. Right. The devil doesn't like us. Think about that. The devil watches us. If you read that book, the devil comes to find us. The devil finds us to isolate. You could almost say we're picked by the devil through our initiation, right? Job, he was minding his fucking business, doing everything God told him to do. And the devil was like, hey, this guy. You know, Jesus minded his business. He's taking care of people, healing people. And the devil goes like, Remember, he said, you're of your father, the devil. So that what he's saying to you is, you and my fucking... So the devil sent you to be in my fucking face talking this dumb shit. Is it not written? You're of your father, the devil, you damn liar. He meant that literally because he's a God literally, right? Okay, so he meant literally. He's dealing with someone the devil sent. Come on. So we have way bigger problems than this dumb shit they be on in their damn politics, boy. I hate that when it's time to, get to the root issues of things, they don't want to do it. I hate when it's really time to understand this Bible. Don't know one they know can do it. I hate when it really comes to manifest any of these gifts or these powers or even a semblance of a prophet. These motherfuckers saw the end of the world and the Antichrist. You ain't got one fucking prophet that's white yet. Y'all don't find that weird? Y'all don't find that weird? There's no such thing as a white prophet today? When I buy white, I mean Jewish, like, because they're not Jews and they're not black. So I'm talking about them niggas. None of them are prophets. None of them. None of them know the future. None of them. None of them get it right. But they control the math and the systems and the numbers on the board. I get it. That's not the future, though. That's their fucking system to begin with. So, like, hacking your own game is like called being a moderator. I ain't talking about their moderations. I'm talking about their ability to see where this shit is going. Never in human history. So why the fuck would they think they come from Judah? Anyway, I make videos on YouTube. Just for you to see what happens. Where did I get it from, right? What the fuck is going on in this world? I get it from my fathers. I get everything else from my mothers, apparently. But yeah. Shit I gotta stay up all night thinking about. 3, the perfect example of what not to do. LimeWire their whole OS, bro. Not the missing DLL files. Come on now. They're trying to install Longhorn on fucking MS-DOS 3.4. Missing L 3, Haroot 3. But yeah, let me get out of here. It's 7-Eleven. Ain't that a bitch? Part 5. Moors. By the way, 7-Eleven is referring to the Moors, by the way. From 7-Eleven to 1492. In case you didn't know. But, in Las Vegas, Nevada, is all based on 7-Eleven, the land of Moorish people and their Indian associates. Don't miss it. We weren't in one place. We were anywhere we fucking wanted to be. we didn't impose limits on who can come or go either. It's like, if you stay within these gates, you follow these rules. You get to the outside of these gates, you do what you want to do. This is the only place that'll kidnap you where you live and not let you leave. And make you stay for the bullshit ass VCR tape about their story. Despicable, evil. Yeah, it's very evil. Doing to others as you would have others doing to you, though. That's universal law. It's not recommendations. That book's not talking about recommendations. It's telling you when the wise speak, they're speaking in algebra. That's what wisdom is. It adds up. Do unto others as others would do unto you. Will. Will. Do unto others as others will do unto you. So whatever fucking karma we had to burn off in our fucking last 800 years to this point, that's one story. Their story is adding this karma to their story. They're going to have to pay that off next, if they live. They're going to have to pay for everything they've done. One life or another. They're not going to get away from judgment. No one does. No one does. No one does. And his judgment is not all bad things. But for them, it will be. I'm almost certain of it. Fundamentally, their operating system is off. It's genetic. And every time in that Bible, Old Testament, it says, don't worry, the sun will clean it up. Zechariah 4, I think. Let's see if I can find it before I leave on that one. Zephaniah, who was what? Archangel Raphael, right? One of them, or Azariah. Hold on, where the donde? Zechariah 4. Donde, I think, or 2 or 3. Somebody 4. Zephaniah, Zechariah, 1336. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I kind of understand what they're saying. Coronavirus, sun virus. They wanted to play that game. They want it to be God. And they're not even God-like. Talk about how they treat their kids. If you read the Bible, God's referring to us as children. That's what he says. So you can tell how they treat their children. Zechariah 8. This is like Revelations. It froze on me. I'm back though. I'll read the part about the aliens. I should be back now. I'll get to the alien part of the Bible. Let's talk about the aliens. Lord have mercy. Yeah, we got it. So I'll read this to you. Then I answered to him. Remember, in Revelations is using lamps alliteration, but this is before it. This is Zechariah. So they don't give you the answer what that symbology is to them already in this book. Then I answered and said to him, what are those 2 olive trees at the right of the lampstand and at its left? And I further answered and said to him, what are these 2 olive branches that drip into the receptacles of the gold pipes from which the golden oil drains? So this is the bloodline, golden oil. Wineskins, golden oil. Then he answered me, do you know what these are? And I said, no, my Lord. So he said, these are the 2 anointed ones, 2 of them, who stand beside the Lord of the whole earth. So 3 right there, right? 1 + 2, just like in the beginning. Then I turned and raised my eyes, and I saw there was a flying scroll. So this is a cigar-shaped UFO. And he said to me, what do you see? So I answered, I see a flying scroll. Its length is 20 cubits, and its width is 10 cubits. And he said to me, this is the curse that goes out over the face of the whole earth. Every thief shall be expelled according to this side of the scroll, and every perjurer shall be expelled according to that side of it. So one side thieves, other side liars. But it's very particular because this is a vision about rulers. I will send out the curse, says the Lord of hosts, craft. It shall enter the house of the thief and the house of the one who swearly falsely by my name. Synagogue of Satan type nigga. It shall remain in the midst of the house and consume it with its timber and stones. The angel who talked with me came out and said to me, lift your eyes now and see what this is that goes forth. So he gave him a vision. Now he says, wake up, open your eyes and look at what's in front of you. He said, so I asked you, what is that you have me looking at? What is it? And he said, it's a basket that is going forth. So it's a moving basket, right? He also said, there's resemblance throughout the earth. This is their resemblance. So it's plural baskets then. He said, the angel, this is their resemblance throughout the earth. Here it is, a lead disc lifted up. These are UFOs. And this is a woman sitting inside of that basket, flying around. And we go to the pictures of Russia, of our tribes, you'll see women in white robes with long hair coming down from these craft. And he thrust her down into the basket and threw a lead cover over its mouth, like a helmet, like a protective lead protects you from radiation, right? Then I raised my eyes and looked, and there were two women coming with the wind in their wings, meaning they were flying in that basket with their lead helmet on. These are sky people, for they had wings like wings of a stork, and they lifted up the basket between earth and heaven. So flying craft. So I said to the angel who talked with me, Hebrews 13, where are they carrying that basket? And he said to me, to build a house for it in the land of Shinar. When it's ready, the basket will be set there on its base, like the base of a pyramid, which is where most of these are. On Mama Inga's land, where they went to ravage our damn pyramids and take these craft. It's in the Bible already, though. Bar for bar. The drivers of these craft are women. On top of that. Well, you know what I'm saying? It'd be crazy if they read this book, right? Oh, it's a bread basket with a curse on it, and women are with stork feathers on their hair. The Indians are just carrying it down the river. All right, same story. You know they're Indians if they keep giving you references to birds as degrees, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Indian. Since we have all the damn birds in the Bible, right? All right, so hold on. One more. Malachi. Malachi. Malaki. Mali. Malay. Donde? You're the last one. 1351. This. Your words have been harsh against me, says the Lord. Yet you say, what have we spoken against you? If you have said it's useless to serve God, what benefits, is it that we have to kept his ordinance? What did God say? You turned on God for benefits. And we have walked as mourners before the Lord of hosts. So now we call the proud blessed. For those who do wickedness are raised up. All right, Epstein. And they even tempt God and go free, meaning they get away with their bullshit. Then those who feared the Lord spoke to one another, those who want to believe. And the Lord listened and heard them. So a book of remembrance was written before him for those who fear the Lord and who meditate on his name, for those who are trying to pursue to understand these things, irregardless of wickedness getting away with things for a time. So a book of remembrance for those who went against the grain, basically. They shall be mine, says the Lord of hosts, on the day that I make them my jewels, like Jews. And I will spare them as a man spares his own son, father-son relationship again, who serves him. Then you shall again discern between the righteous and the wicked, between the one who serve God and the one who don't. For behold, the day is coming, burning like an oven, all right, no Poland, and all the proud, yes, all who do wicked will be stubble. And the day which is coming shall burn them up, says the Lord of hosts, that will leave them neither root or branch, so that's their bloodline, But you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness, S-U-N, the Son of Righteousness, the Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in its wings, and you shall go out and grow fat like calf-fed or stall-fed calves. You shall trample the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet. On the day I do this, says the Lord of hosts. You know, the UAPs. Remember the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded him in Horeb for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you the Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. Eli, Eli. And he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come with a strike the earth with a curse. So fathers and sons need, you know what I'm saying, how important that bond is. Because if you don't get that right, statutes, judgments, Horeb, Israelites, I will come down and strike the earth with a curse for y'all. For them, they're going to be destroyed. Their whole bloodline is going to be destroyed. But for you, you'll be cursed. Because you know you ain't going nowhere. You're eternal. Same story. So it's already covered over and over and over again. When shit get out of hand, shit start appearing out the sky, the sun starts changing, and people bloodlines, roots and branches start being canceled out. That's exactly what the fuck we're going through. On the Son of Righteousness, on coronavirus. For it would be like a curse. And all those who did wickedness in my name, you know, you'd be exposed. Like T.D. Jakes at a Diddy party. Like Benjamin Netanyahu, like Donald Trump. You notice they're all being exposed at the same time. There's a corona Son of Righteousness virus. Yeah. So you could triangulate where in God's wrath things are going. Because you know all the signs and you've seen none of the repentance. So that means if it's all the signs and none of the repentance, they're headed for destruction. It's all the signs of bad things coming and looming. You know how it is. It's a pump fake. God don't let all the water fall at once. He give you 40 days. Virus to the crown, reprobate mind, or coronavirus. Since we're talking about leaves, trees, and figs, you can't grow. But guess what's left in people's blood when they die from that shit? Look like a bunch of roots. Yeah, this shit evil. They're evil for that. mRNA was the real test. Yep. I think they gambled to their death. Now they're trying to worry about how to feed people while they're dying. I get it. Hence why there isn't a rush to get back to their program. They won't be here to tell about it. No. They don't have a program either. It was based on racism, and they lied about that. They gaslit us and gaslit themselves, gaslighting us. Like, no, y'all did this mean bullshit and racism and Jim Crow and all that against the children of Israel. We know. I know who the fuck I am, so I know who you did it to. You did it to me, you did it to my father, you did it to my grandfather, you did it to my great-grandfather. I don't know how many grandfathers went back, but I know it went all the way from the Civil War after with your ass. So you've been disrespecting all the direct descendants of King James himself, and you're speaking King James English on top of that. That's a weird fucking story. I can't believe you in my language, let alone, what's your language again? Exactly. You should shut the fuck up then. And that's just my energy towards them. Like, these motherfuckers that run things, they don't run nothing. Like you said, they're running out of time. To save money? That's that reprobate mind curse. Like, this ain't a money problem. This is a karma problem. You betrayed God's people. You took advantage of us, you misled us, you lied about us, you lied to us, you lied to the world about us. Remember, we didn't have international press during this time, so we couldn't, like, give you the debate of why the immigrant that came to kill the Indians is not an Indian, you know? Like, can you fucking imagine how indecent and how fucking retarded the premise of such a thing is? But it didn't happen that way. It happened this way. It happened that way. Oh, if you guys just get together on your grandmother's land in your language and your math, and maybe you can vote and make a difference. The fuck no. Did they colonize us or not? And were they nice about it? They did that to God's children. Americans weren't evil and all fucked up and bullshit and reprobate. That's the whole story. So all of us who were over here minding our fucking business, the ones who didn't want to listen are the ones we send away. Yep. The Phoenicians did not want to tell nobody else about this side of the world for about, what, 50,000 years? They don't have our history. There's no wars to tell. There's no gory details of people taking things from other people. A lot of nigga shit, though. I'm pretty sure of it. But our story don't rhyme like theirs. We're children of people from another planet. As far as we know, that's all there was here. According to our book, our language. We come from somewhere else. We're created by something from somewhere else. We're created by something that created this for us. That's consistent with our genetics. It's not from here. Our sisters, mitochondria, not like anyone else's. Where did that happen? If we're the oldest people here. Who spliced us? It can't be the white man. Correct. And you go back and you be like, well, who spliced them? Correct. And you'll go back and like, who spliced them? I don't fucking know, but I know where I am and I know who I am. And thank God this is King James English. And I'm Dwayne Smith, James Smith, John Smith, Dwayne Smith. It's us. So once I had those two, and I got X and a Y variable, I can solve for Z most of the time. Thank God. Now this is a 4 variable problem. These niggas put spin and gender on shit. But you know, I keep it simple. Like, nah, they're fucking, the devil's a lie. Just like we said, however many hundreds of years ago, the devil's still a liar. To this day. Because who the fuck spends $38 trillion to hide the fucking truth? They're in debt for hiding the truth. They're in debt betraying God. They're in debt betraying God's people. This is their language model that they use about this. This is why they sucking so much Jewish dick for. But I'm a Jew. All right. Yeah. Hell can't happen fast enough. Bad parlay on the crypto truth. Yeah. They don't act like they a crypto Jew and not one of them is bronze colored. That's a crazy fucking story. So yeah, I don't know, man. I hope this stuff wraps up soon, man. They flirting with opening up the government because they make a deal. I'm talking about even after they open this bitch. Something's gotta happen to these people, boy. We gotta get them out of office or something. We gotta get them off. Can't just do the whole system from scratch. So they're gonna have to transition this shit. But whatever we transition into cannot be a fucking crypto Jewish Zionist. And whatever the fuck this weird Chloron, KKK, white supremacist Christian bullshit comes from. Like, whatever those two groups got the fuck going on, they just need to figure the fuck out in their own fucking land or something. Like, there's plenty to choose from. Like, Jesus Christ, like, leave us the fuck alone for the rest of human history. We don't need these people. They don't have Bibles. They don't have languages. They don't have algebra. We'll be fine. The fuck? What am I looking at? Watching a nigga remix my fucking soul crates. Nigga, I got an MPC and a vinyl player. I don't need you to remix my records for me. You feel me? Like, I'm tired of it. It makes life miserable, knowing that all of our miseries and our setbacks is like a handful of everybody's worst of the worst individuals working together. Like, we're all mapping our life around colonialization in 2025, and we skip that and go to AI in the future and go on other planets, but you're going to keep the colonial rapism, I'm white and I said so-ism, while we expand through your made-up version of the stars on top of that. Like, when are they going to get back to their first sin? fucking killing people who took care of their bitch ass after almost dying across the fucking Atlantic Ocean because they're stupid. We crossed the Pacific. They hypothecated this shit, including the language in the goddamn buildings that my father's built. I gotta buy it from them. I gotta lease it from them. I gotta get a loan with their foreign bank, with their foreign currency, with some Jewish people for me to live where my grandmother was in a state named after her. Like, how does that fucking make sense to these people? They gotta go, bro. That's my final judgment. I don't want them here. I want nothing that rhymes with that stupid shit near me or my kids. And I'm talking about all generations. I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about even in the future. Like, throw 400 more years down. I want these motherfuckers around us. Look how useless life has been because of them. They're trying to create a system and get to some goal or ambition. Do that shit where you come from. Why are we involved? Why are you using our labor? Why are you belittling us? Why are you dangling on a carrot for us? Why are you in our fucking face abusing and fucking blaspheming everything about our bloodline, our story, and our history, and our land? Like, I'm tired of that shit, boy. Everyone else can get a fucking paycheck and go get fucked. But I'm talking about, like, at the end of the fucking day, what's the point of being here with these niggas? They make life suck. Like, I'd rather die than live with these motherfuckers, bro. I'd rather God take me off this planet than do another fucking life generation. I don't even want to bring fucking kids here because of these fucking animals. You feel me? Like, this shit's cruel and unusual. The more advanced you get in understanding, like, how fucking wrong everything is and evil it is, and that it still persists. And it's like, bro, we can all see it for what it is, but, you know, well, what are we waiting for again? Yeah, benefits. So, yeah, bro. Fuck a benefit. The fuck's the benefits for? Benefits in captivity? Fuck wrong with my people, boy? What the fuck's wrong with Israel, the real one? Like, what the fuck, where the fuck y'all at right now? What do y'all prayers sound like? Where y'all at? Y'all at the part of the story where we're gonna stay in the desert for 40 fucking more years with these dickheads? Because that's the only fucking reason why we're standing still. If you know how powerful you are, right? So anyway, you know, that energy and that message will move on and get to the right places eventually, I hope. Because we're going to die either way. I'd rather die free one day. I pray one day we really free the slaves. Free Gaza, nigga. You know, the one over here. Shout out to Gorilla Gospel. Shout out to Jalert. Shout out to Mr. Nell. Rakim Escobar. Shout out to the brother Harut. Jonathan. Everybody. And everybody watching TBFB3, man. Yeah, we tired of it. On King James English, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of standing in line to die because these people are faggots who lie and stole everything and then fucking ruined it. And then we gotta act like there's a third party, fifth party threat that's causing reptilians and vrills and shit. It's like, no, bitch ass nigga, you're not even from Israel enough for me. Messing with your alien talk. Why are you here in Israel, bitch? Like, and I just stand right there with that. Because they're not gonna tell me I'm not a Smith. It'd be fucking impossible. So, yeah. Yeah, man. My apologies, though. That message ain't for everybody. It's for the devil. The devil doesn't get better with time. How disappointing. Even the sins aren't good. The women look like men now. They do all this for kids. Yeah, I'm just sick of them. Whatever that Illuminati fuck shit is. Satanist, Luciferian, fuck them. They mama a bitch, they daddy a bitch, and I'll beat their God's ass on Israel. And tell them I fucking said it on Solomon. But yo, the rest of y'all, appreciate y'all for the mathematical bill earlier. pass some of that flaming fire to you. Burn up this evil in your mind and your association with it, and ask God and seek God for the truth and validation of any points you're confused about. Don't take my word for granted. You see what the fuck happened when we do that with these niggas. Till next time. Peace.